るべき言葉なくした星の守りでは時の果て夢の果て闇に立ちすくんだ風を呼んでみたんだ空に向けて誰かを呼んでみたんだ光求めたソリチュードかすかなレゾナンス確かに届くロマンスそんな流れ星たちを抱き留めた明日が見えなくだって乗り越えなくちゃって奇跡の奇跡描き未来へつなぐ Growing High 心のフォトンが銀河にこぼれて道を強く照らす Burning Bright それぞれの思い秘めた星の守り手は空からの呼ぶ声に導かれた重ねる手と手には言葉なんかより伝わることがある熱い心通じ合った確かなレゾナンス見つけるのはエッセンス目指した意識の先がディスティネーション答えが見えなくてくじけそうになって支え合い誓い合う絆でつなぐシャイニースマイル心のフォトンが銀河に溢れて道を開く鍵はマイスターライトハ明日が見えなくだって乗り越えなくちゃって奇跡の奇跡描き未来へつなぐ Growing High 心のフォトンが銀河に溢れて道が開いたら羽ばたいて行こうよ乗り越えて行こうよ星空と溶け合っていつまでも行ける Fly High まっすぐ願いを世界に歌って新しい夜を新しい朝をここからまた始めよう My heart shines endlessly
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another beautiful week and another beautiful series of the Piltover Cup coming to you from Raid. I'm Dawoud, Sandstorm Dawoud, and joining me for today's beautiful cast between Sentinel Gaming and Nuclear Storm Gaming is the beautiful, the one and only Jake XJ Gorman.
Hi Dawoud, pleasure to be here. Very excited for the games this evening.
It's a pleasure to have you, buddy. Now we're looking at both these teams sitting in their group. They're currently 1-1.
Yes,
and
indeed.
Of course their spot for the quarterfinals is hanging on a thread between both these teams. And of course we all know it's a best of 3, and both these teams are very strong. So what are we expecting from these guys?
I mean, it's going to be an interesting game for sure. Like Group A, I think is definitely the strongest overall group. I think whoever goes out here is going to be the best team to not make quarterfinals. So it's a shame to see one of these teams go. I think I'm going to give a slight edge to Sentinel just based on their man-to-man strength. I think individually they're better players, but NSG has a lot more practice as a team. I think they'll have the better team play. So the question is going to be, how good are Sentinel playing together? Can they close out the leads I would expect them to get?
Yeah, definitely. We're going to be jumping into the Champion Select. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, it is going to be Sentinel on blue side and Nuclear Storm Gaming on red side. The NSG actually did have the priority pick. They were the higher seed, and they chose to start off on the red side. So that might tell us a little bit of something. That might tell us they don't want to really go for a priority pick, and they might want to focus on something else.
Yeah, it's interesting. Generally speaking, people have always chosen blue side. I think there's two main reasons to choose red side, and that's you really want the last pick for a counter pick. Or in the first rotation, you think there's enough OP stuff where you can trade 1 for 2 on your first rotation. Which I think does make sense. The current patch with the likes of Maokai and Cho'Gath, they're coming in big at the moment. A lot of Duskblade users as well with the recent buffs to that. So it'd be interesting to see what exactly their plan is. Yeah,
then of course, NSG haven't had a single game where they were actually able to pick up the Kalista. It's taken away from them once more. Feels bad for Adzi, not able to pick up his favorite AD carry.
Yes,
and the Zac as well, taken away from Darksealian. He has picked it up a couple of times and he has done exceptionally well for himself. So you can already see the focus is towards the bottom side of the map and onto Adzi, and of course towards the jungle for both Goose and Darksealian.
Yeah, I mean, well, Zac's a pretty staple ban for patches now. If the enemy jungler plays it, which Steelion does, you ban it red side. Elise, another very good ban in the jungle. And Olaf coming out as well, that's a big comfort pick for Darksealion. So already we see a lot of jungle priority in this ban phase. They're trying to get Goose and Steelion respectively off their comfort picks.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, we were talking about this game beforehand for Darksealion and for Goose. This was the main focus for both for this game because we know that they both kind of have a similar style towards their jungle. So that there's definitely something special that one of them has to bring in order to come out on top in the series.
Yes, exactly. And at least in ban again, see, they're just trying to kind of keep down Goose and Steelion off their early game carries. They're people who like to get around the map early. They want to get the lane snowballing and decide a victory that way. And well, Azir ban, not a huge shock against Azrael.
I mean, definitely didn't see that one coming. Not at all. I mean, it had to be taken away.
Yeah.
Thing is, you don't want to give him his favorite champion, but the thing is, we've seen it get picked up before, but he didn't really have the best performance, and his itemization was really questionable. I mean, he didn't pick up a Morello's, he didn't pick up a Nashor's Tooth. He went for a Leander's Torment, I believe, so the start was a little bit shaky.
It's strange, and Azrael always known for his strange picks and builds, so I'm not going to make any prediction as to what he does this series. What we do see here is Cho'Gath traded from Maokai, and these are both incredibly strong tanks on the current patch.
Yeah, and after we've all seen the changes towards Cho'Gath and how everything works. We've seen actually Goose pick up Cho'Gath in the jungle as well. Too bad that he wasn't actually able to pick it up for himself. This time we've seen him go with Bond of Stone, because you were talking about this before as to why Bond of Stone would work really well for him.
Yeah, well, Cho'Gath can really reliably proc it off his E, which is, it just applies on auto attacks as an AoE slow, so it's very easy to get value off it. Courageous Colossus, always a good choice as well on a tank with a knockup. That Maokai, I would expect to be going to the top lane. Goose, not a huge tank jungler. I haven't seen him practice any Maokai, whereas Default seems to love these tanky top laners. And that could be a scary bot lane coming out of Sentinel with Caitlyn and Thresh.
Yeah, there is a pretty deadly lane. You get a hook, you get a flay, you can get a couple of headshots with the 90 caliber now, put a trap as well. So a lot of burst and a lot of really heavy potential, of course, to keep their lane pressure going in favor of Sentinel towards the bottom side of the map. So this could be pretty good for a pretty good start for them and a pretty good couple of picks in the first rotation.
Yeah, I think overall pretty solid, safe pick ban so far. The Tam Kench is an excellent pickup into Thresh. He pretty much removes your ability to make picks on the laning phase. So far both teams not showing a whole lot. They take their bot lanes, they take a tank. It's very safe, staple pick so far, which is what you want to do in the first phase. Now in ban phase 2, we're probably going to look at some targeted bans, take someone out. So you see NSG looking towards Azrael, trying to get him off anything he might be comfortable on. Interesting to see who Sentinel choose to focus. They could keep banning out Goose, assuming this is a Maokai top.
Yeah, again, you were right about that, because there's, 4 junglers at the moment who are currently taken away. And of course, we all know the Cho'Gath can actually be flexed for Darksealian or Mr. Krebsley. So the Maokai and the Cho'Gath, we're still not sure if it's either going to be in the jungle or towards the top lane. So still leaves a lot of options rather available for both these teams.
Exactly. Like, I haven't seen either Krebsley or Steelion practice much Cho'Gath. I'd estimate it's top lane, as Krebsley likes to favor these big, beefy, tanky top laners. So, like, he's known for his Scion primarily, and it's quite
and his Shen, yeah.
Shen, yeah. Orianna ban against Azrael.
Yeah.
So, NSG have not done the research all too well. If anyone's ever spoken to Azrael, you will know how much he hates that champion with a burning passion.
Maybe it's a disrespect ban?
Well, speaking of disrespect, there's no ban coming out from Sentinel.
Oh boy.
So I'm going to assume that was an accident.
It could be an accident, or you see, the thing is, I'm not too sure, because we've had an issue before with this, and I think, yeah,
Corki ban.
Okay, so it is a Corki ban.
Okay, well, Corki really strong mid laner's own solid blind pick, so I think that is a good ban then.
It works out. It has really good rotations. Of course, whenever he has the package, could always rotate towards the bottom lane, top lane, able to make a couple of plays as well. So,
and I stand corrected. Goose is going to be playing the Maokai with the Kled in the top lane.
Oh boy! I mean, we know Goose likes to be very aggressive with the Lee Sin, the Graves, the Elise. He always loves to play those kind of junglers. But recently, whenever he started playing for Nuclear Storm Gaming a while ago, he always started to play something like the Zac, the Sejuani as well. Whenever she started being a little bit OP, when they changed her up, and the same thing could be said for the Maokai. So, a little bit of a change for him, and honestly, I like where this is going. It just helps him become a better jungler, really, and just increases his champion pool a lot more.
Yeah, I agree, and I say he hasn't practiced much Maokai. You don't need a huge amount of Maokai practice. He's not as mechanically demanding as the junglers Goose tends to favor. And we see Shen picked up for Krebsley, which means it is going to be jungle Cho'Gath as well.
Yeah, definitely. So both these new champions going to be going, or rather updated champions, I'm going to go with. Going towards the jungle, and this should be very interesting. I mean, I've seen a couple of the clears for the Maokai. They always put about 2 saplings, for example, on the red buff, and they put them a little bit distant from each other just so both of them don't proc at the same time, because it's for I think whenever you actually get the proc of the sapling, the 3 procs coming out from them don't stack, so it doesn't proc 6 times if they both get proc together.
Exactly.
So you got to space it out.
We've also seen some fancy stuff like leaving a sapling on the other side of the map. Your bot lane leashes the buff and lets it die to the sapling, and you clear one buff while you're doing the other.
I've never seen that one, actually. That's a pretty cool one.
It's very cool. I don't know if NSG has practiced that at all. It's not something you want to do without testing it first.
Yeah, definitely.
And mid lane here we see Azrael on Malzahar.
Yeah, definitely. That's a nice pickup, but it tells me that they're definitely going for a lot of pick potential for both for the side of Sentinel, just because they have the hook coming out from the Thresh, they have the ultimate, of course, the Nether Grasp coming out from the Malzahar, or even the just the taunts coming out from Shen. So there's definitely a lot of pick potential going in favor of Sentinel.
For me, this is a classic Azrael pick, because no one's playing it, and I hate playing against it, and that is pretty much the staple of Azrael's champion pool. The Syndra pick into it seems like a decent matchup. I'd say it'll be pretty farm heavy. Malzahar can't really get in range of Syndra that easily. So I'd say unless we see some jungler visits, it's just going to be farming out for the most part.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm looking towards the composition here coming out for the side of NSG. And I think basically they have a lot of engage potential from the Maokai and from the Kled. You can see the charge coming out from the Kled, of course, with Skarl. And then you got Goose coming in with his ultimate as well. I don't remember what it's called, which is pretty bad. But it just that, getting a couple of roots, and of course with his point-click CC that we all know, Maokai, it's just one of my favorite things about him. All the way back when he used to be played in top lane, just the best things ever. You just need that click CC on the AD carry, and then they're dead because your whole team just falls up.
Exactly. So yeah, we see a full-on engaged team fighting comp from NSG against more of a single pick style from Sentinel. So that Tahm Kench can really throw a spanner in the works if you're just trying to pick off one person. You can eat someone out of a hook, you can eat someone out of the Malzahar ult. The damage will still go through, but you'll be away, so it doesn't matter. So I think if Trick plays well, he can delay tonight a lot of what Sentinel want to do and let NSG scale up into these team fights.
Yeah, definitely. And especially, I'm kind of surprised now that you actually brought it up for the Tahm Kench that they went with the Malzahar mid lane, just because it kind of makes his ultimate a little bit useless if you have the Tahm Kench with you, because you wouldn't be forced to be in situations where you actually have to buy the QSS because it's what, 1200, 1250?
1300.
1300 gold at this point, which is quite a decent amount of gold, especially that you're going up against the Syndra. You might force him to buy it later on, but with the Tahm Kench, it kind of alleviates the pressure of having to buy it. So it might actually help out the side of NSG a lot more with this pick, and just Tahm Kench really going to be working really well for them.
Yeah, it's an excellent point. So, of course, the answer then is ult the Tahm Kench.
Yeah.
Try burst him down. Not the easiest thing, but if you do have a suppression down in the Tahm Kench, he can't activate his grey health, get a giant shield back. So they do have the potential to just burst him straight out. But, again, full committing onto a Tahm Kench for the kill is always a bit iffy, because if you waste your cooldowns not killing a support, you're just going to get rolled in these team fights, and no one's going to be able to get onto Adzi in the backline.
Yeah, exactly, because there's always going to be a huge amount of burst coming out from Nisfar on the Syndra, a good amount of burst, of course, coming out from, from default, because we've seen some people, even in the last week's game, I believe there was a Duskblade built onto a Kled in the top lane, which was pretty disgusting.
I respect that a lot.
That was just broken damage coming out. That was before the hotfix, I believe. And, now that we actually brought it up, what do you think about the changes for Duskblade? Does it actually have an impact on the game?
So those who don't know, they hotfix the damage on Duskblade when you proc it after coming out of vision. And they reduced it quite significantly level 1, but by the time you get to, say, level 9 or 10 and you actually have the item ready, it's only a very small drop in the actual damage. So I think it's still a really good item. I don't think there's anyone in this particular game who benefits that much off it. Like, as you said, Kled did build it. It's not ideal for Kled, really. You'd be looking at more a Jhin, a Kha'Zix, a Graves, who can really benefit from that lethality.
Yeah.
But I think Duskblade is being overshadowed by all the recent buff to tanks. Because it's like, oh, hey, look, I do so much damage to people with no armor, and Maokai walks up with 300 armor. It's like, good for you.
Yeah, exactly. And now I'm just looking over the jungle bans one more time. I'm kind of surprised that there was no Graves ban, considering that both these junglers love to play, a good amount of Graves. I'm kind of surprised that no one picked it up as well.
Yeah, I mean, Graves always a decent champion. He can be kind of awkward to make work because of his lack of crowd control for the most part, which is what you want in a jungler. I would have been expecting more so to see maybe a Kha'Zix come out from Goose. I think Kha'Zix is able to abuse Duskblade and the other lethality items a little bit better. He can get the proc on Duskblade multiple times by using his ultimate again and again. And I think overall he's slightly easier to make work, because once you evolve his W, he brings us great amount of utility to the team with his 80% AoE slow, which is pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, of course, Graves used to work a lot with a lot of those mid lane champions, mainly just because, or rather any lane, as long as they actually have some sort of CC, it would help him out with the burst, and just makes it easier for him to come in and just burst down the enemy lane, or even try and force any summoners. But with the Syndra, there's a slight chance that he might miss the stun. Yeah. Of course, towards that at that point we didn't know if it was actually going to be a Maokai or Maokai in the jungle or towards the top lane. It could have been a Maokai top. Twisted Advance might have been able to help him out, of course, with the same thing, just providing some sort of CC. But I guess you're right in the point, of course, that you need something to actually just help out from the jungler, especially CC wise, and Graves just kind of lacks majorly in that area.
Yeah, so then we see he wouldn't slot in well to NSG's composition. Sentinels, he should be fine with Thresh, Melter, and Shen. That is plenty of crowd control already.
Yeah, definitely. We should be jumping into the game pretty soon, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, this is the first game between Sentinel Gaming and Nuclear Storm Gaming. It is a best of 3, and of course, the winner of this series will go on to take second place in their group, and they will continue into the quarterfinals of the Piltover Cup.
Yeah, and depending on the draw, that means the winner of the series should either be playing myself with Ferocity Esports, Geek Squad, or Acer Gaming.
Yeah, exactly, and definitely. Would you be excited to play against one of those teams?
Oh yeah, definitely. I know a lot of the guys in this game very well. I've been friends with them years within the community. So I'd love to beat any of them, really.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Primarily Goose. Goose is my boy, as you may know.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we all know the day. I think the quote of one day, of course, the apprentice becomes the master. But do you think that day will ever come? Will Goose ever be better than you?
No.
Oh boy. I mean, considering at this point you don't really play that much, do you? As in on a day-to-day basis, compared to a lot of these players like Darkcilion, Aziril, and Goose, Default.
No, not so much. in my defense, the Ratchet and Clank trilogy is really cheap on the PlayStation Store at the moment, so I've been a bit preoccupied. Yeah, it was a tenner for 3 games, so.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. That's pretty worth.
Yeah.
That's pretty worth right there.
Nonetheless, when game time comes around, when we're into the semis, the final of a major tournament, I'm going to be turning it on and going to style on some kids.
Oh boy, styling on some kids. You heard it here, folks. He's going to be styling on everyone throughout the tournament. Of course, for us, they're currently undefeated in their group. Are they not?
That is correct. We finished off on Tuesday. We got one walkover and finished off our other 2 games 2-0 fairly convincingly. So we're looking good so far. Obviously, our group wasn't as difficult as Group A is here.
Yeah, definitely, because they had NSG, Sentinel, Phelan, who I'm actually surprised because they're the ones who are currently on top in their group. And honestly, I'm kind of surprised that both these teams got 2-0'd by Phelan. It didn't even go to a 3-game series between any of them.
Yeah, Phelan looking very strong with their new Bulgarian bot lane coming in, helping them out a lot. And they've got a new jungler in Dakin as well. And we scrimmed them a few times. They're looking pretty strong. I didn't catch much of Sentinel versus Phelan, but I saw their games against NSG. Mm-hmm. Neither team really looked very convincing there. That was the first week of games. Mm-hmm. And there was a lot of mistakes on both sides, really. A few questionable engages and mispositions. Phelan managed to edge out both games relatively unconvincingly, but they were overall the better team. I think they've been improving a lot week to week, though, so as soon as we're into the knockout stage, I think they're going to be looking a lot better. Yeah,
definitely. Now, I actually just want to ask you one question. The swap for your AD carrier role going from Marcel to Voina, getting that swap for the AD carrier role, what made you guys want to go for that change, or how does the team feel after that change?
Well, the change wasn't so much about trying to get the best players on the team. It was just more of a kind of a personality thing. There was some conflict within the team between ourselves and Asarad. Overall, we just felt more comfortable going forward trying out Voina. And I think since he's came in, the team atmosphere has been a bit more relaxed, a bit more jovial. So it's working out pretty well for us. Asarad will be joining Phelan Gaming, I believe, as soon as Raid's finished.
Oh.
So that is going to be interesting.
Oh, that should be a very spicy game. Maybe a little bit of revenge coming out from Asarad's side, or...
There'll be a lot of mastery mode spamming in the bot lane, I can tell you that much.
Oh, God. It's just going to be Blaze all over the game.
It will.
Just every time you see Blaze, mastery emote the whole time. That's why I think he was just a little bit triggered whenever he's playing on Tournament Realm, because he doesn't have the mastery emote.
It's upsetting, it is. But we are into game.
Yeah, we are into the first game, ladies and gentlemen, between Sentinel Gaming and Nuclear Storm Gaming. We should be jumping onto the Rift any second now, and honestly, I can't wait to see what both these teams have to offer.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Eyes are on the junglers to see what happens early. Maokai, a little bit easier to make the plays early, I think, with his point and click twisted advance. But Cho'Gath, like his E is now a slow and his auto attacks, which means he's going to have a lot easier time than he used to. And mainly I want to see what Goose does with his early clear. How creatively can he use these saplings?
Yeah, definitely want to see how exactly he's going to be putting those saplings and how he's going to clear just for the first couple of minutes, because it always is just a little bit intriguing to see certain junglers go with certain styles or certain starts and certain patterns. So definitely want to see what Goose has to do with the Maokai, and of course what Dark Celion as well will be doing on that Cho'Gath.
Indeed, so he's sitting in the mid lane at the moment, so not giving me much of an indication as to where he wants to start. I'm sure he will see him move off soon enough to start prepping the saplings. I'm actually not 100% sure how long they last.
I believe it was 40, 50, 60 seconds, I think, for the saplings. I'm not too sure or I think it scales from 30 to 60, but it definitely starts off at 30 seconds.
Okay.
As far as I remember, but just usual start from both these teams, just a line of scrimmage, running it down the middle of the map, so nothing really special coming out from anyone here.
Dark Celion going to be starting on the rates. That is the very staple start right now. Because of the way Jungle XP works, you want to kill as many small monsters as you can level 1, and you get bonus XP each time, which makes the Raptors ideal level 1.
Yeah, definitely. It's just plus the fact that you get level 2 from the small Raptors on their own. That's always pretty nice, because you get a decent amount of health back as soon as you level up. And I think it's just a little bit better, of course, to start on that camp, just because it's easier to. And it's of course it's one of the hardest camps to clear in the first couple of levels, so it's always really good to get it out of the way early on.
Very true, very true. And I think we saw Goose starting off on the rates as well, so not a huge surprise there. Not much happening this early in the game, just going to be farming up.
Yeah, definitely. And looking towards that top lane, just Skarl, Kled, and Shen. Just having a little bit.
Is very low. I think there might have been some sapling funniness, but
something did in fact happen. But Tricked is very low on this. We could be looking at a first blood here, and it is gonna get secured by Burnsy on that Thresh. And a little bit of a mistake here coming out from NSG, and not the best of starts here.
I'm really bewildered as to what happened. Like the blue buff's still up for Goose. I don't know if they tried to do a funny sapling play and messed it up.
It could be, but again, the fact that the first blood was secured within the first 2 or 3 minutes, it's definitely a great start for the side here of Sentinel, but not a good start for NSG because now they're definitely on the back foot.
Yeah, and we see like all 4 summoners in that bot lane are still up. Like Azzy could have easily healed to try maybe force some flashes in, but they just gave up the kill for free. That was really bizarre to watch, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely, but looking towards Adzi, and because of course Tricked was taken down within the first couple of minutes, he has been forced under a stir and just makes it really hard for him to actually farm up, and he's going to get set back here for quite a bit.
Yeah, when we see Goose just going back to his jungle farming, he's not looking for an early gank in the spot lane to try even out the deficit they've just gotten. And you see Stelion doing a similar thing. They went for the fast level 3 clear, but neither of them deciding they wanted to gank this early. Not a huge surprise, I think. Cho'Gath likes to scale up a bit, although top lane is pushing very heavily in default's favor, so he could be vulnerable.
Yeah, but Krebsley is going to be able to farm him a couple of minions under turret, so he should be relaxed for quite a bit. But again, I can't wait to see what these junglers are going to offer, and looks like they are actually going to run into each other towards the top side of the map here near the Raptors.
I wouldn't expect much of a fight going on between two champions this early. Just gonna wave at each other and walk away.
Yeah, with Default and Krebsley just having a little bit of an argument towards that top side of the map. I don't think anyone's too happy with what Skarl's been saying about Shen recently.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I think Krebsley's losing out in these trades slightly. That will get better. I think once Shen gets a couple of items, he should be more or less okay in that one-on-one. He's able to use his W to block Kled's barrage of auto attacks coming in, and that's going to be a huge deal in these trades.
Yeah, especially with the triple auto attacks coming in real quick from his Q, if I'm not mistaken.
Kled's W.
His W.
Gives him 4 attacks.
Four attacks even. Yeah, close enough. Yeah. Not even close. But looking towards Goose, he's rotating, going for a lane gank towards that top side, because I believe the wave might be actually bouncing back in favor of Mr. Krebsley, so it might work in his favor, or he could just recall.
Yeah, it doesn't seem too sure. I think this could be one of the situations where he ends up sitting in a bush for a minute doing nothing. Goose not unknown to that strategy.
Oh, Krebsley. Going to be ducking away from the bear trap, but Default is going to try and bait him, and it might actually work. Here comes Goose, and he's actually going to force the flash out of Krebsley. The Twisted Advance has already been used to kind of close that small space that he was really close to, but a little bit scared, I think, Mr. Krebsley.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to fault someone for playing slightly more safe than they need to. Personally, I'm very greedy. I definitely wouldn't have flashed there. I don't think you needed to. You certainly could have held on to it for a second and assessed the situation. But nonetheless, a good bait from Default to get Krebsley to basically walk straight up to that bush. Unfortunately for them, he didn't taunt in. That would have probably meant his death. Yeah,
definitely if he taunted in, that flash wouldn't have saved him, but decent amount of pressure towards the bottom side and the top side.
Nice hook there.
Yeah, definitely a good amount of damage coming here from Ralston and Burnsy. We talked about this before, just because of how the bot lane really works against the Tristana and against that Kench. And just because they got their first blood as well, it just makes it really hard for the first couple of minutes for NSG, because they're about, what, 12, 13, 14 CS behind at this point towards that bottom side of the map, and that's a really good lead for Ralston.
Oh, Stelion, hello.
He's going to try and go for a steal. Goose not too happy seeing him, just makes him try to run away out of his jungle, but he's actually going to have the backup of Aziraal, who is level 6, who might actually be able to do some damage, but they're both just going to back off, and he's trying to rotate as well, so nothing really going to come of it. But Default and Krebsley just keep on arguing. I don't think any of them are happy towards that top lane.
No, I think Krebsley's going to have to back soon as well. He's getting out sustained quite a bit by these Kled Qs. Yeah, he's just going to go back and TP back to lane, I would assume.
Yeah, indeed, he has to go back, but look at this constant pressure by Ralston and Burnsy, dealing a third almost of the turret's damage already. 7 minutes into this game, so we can already think about what could possibly happen later on. Maybe Dark Stelion would be waiting to come towards the bottom lane, or even Mr. Krebsley, since he's level 6 now, they could make a play towards the bottom side of the map and get that first break gold, and then just start going with those rotations around the map.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not a huge surprise that Sentinel's bot lane are able to pressure in this early. Caitlyn, extremely strong lane pusher. And while Tricked is able to keep Adzi safe from the hooks, they're still going to be pushed in and stuck under a turret. Especially with the free first blood coming down, they give him a huge advantage. Oh,
yeah,
Azrael's in
definitely,
trouble.
and here comes Goose. Azrael does have the flash, but the twisted advance still catches him out. Neesfar coming out with his ultimate, gets the kill. Even though the flash was used by Azrael, not going to save him this time. And NSG rather get one kill back.
Yeah, Azrael, having not played against Maokai in a while, I assume you cannot flash during the twisted advance animation. He's just going to come with you.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like whenever you're flashing over the wall and Master Yi already uses Alpha Strike, when you time it that perfectly, works out really well, but didn't work out in favor of Azrael this time. Burns is going to get chased down here. Relson going to be the one chased down as well. 2 stacks,
Goose
3. He might actually get eaten up, and he does. Goose going to be coming in as well. Burns gets taken down actually a lot, and that's the second time Goose follows in, but this might be a little bit too deep. And Relson gets knocked back by the Q coming in from Goose, and they secure the kill, but it's going to be the Nether Grasp, and they are going to be able to trade 2 for 1 in favor of Sentinel, and that is a double kill for a 0.
Yeah, very nice reaction from Sentinel there to come in with the TP and the Stand United. One question I'm wondering there is, why did Goose not use his ult? You had a clear line on both the bot laners as he's flanking in behind them, and he decided to just W Burnsy into his turret, and that caused the death of him. I will give him credit, that was a very nice cue to interrupt the Lantern. Would have gone even worse for them if Caitlyn was able to get away. Yeah,
that was a beautiful cue, but honestly, I agree with you. The ultimate might have been available for Goose, so he might have been able to actually secure the kill, but didn't work out for him this way, and this is why Mr. Krebsy just loves to play the Shen, and you give him something like that, it just gives him the double global that Default will not be able to follow. Considering he actually had TP available, I'm surprised there was no follow-up coming out from Default as well, so better communication here coming out from the side of Sentinel.
I guess so, and that's kind of the opposite of what I was expecting. I was expecting NSG to have the better team play, but Sentinel winning out on that one pretty hard in the end.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you were talking about the fact that Sentinel have the better matchup, and here comes the taunt. Mr. Krebsy getting a decent amount of damage, but it all could be a bait. Here comes Goose. Default not going to be able to mount up just yet, but he's going a little bit aggressive, and he's going to give the free kill to Mr. Krebsley. And he just underestimates the amount of damage he does. Here comes Goose, going to still go for the chase. Flash not available, but he's going to get the twisted advance. He's going to try and knock him back, but the taunt comes through. Mr. Krebsley might be able to run away, and he does. 1 kill for nothing. And again, a lack of communication between the members of NSG, and we've seen this last week. Goose and Default need to get their things going better. And oh boy, Dark Ceiling going to be coming back. The chop comes down, and he's just going to get nuked out of there. And it's going to be chased down. The box comes down. He's going to get slowed. He's going to get stunned. He's going to get rooted. And he's going to get taken down with that last auto attack. Right, that's going to be the pacemaker coming out from Relson. And yet another kill going towards Sentinel.
Lovely play from Burns there to get that engage off. Tricked, positioned a bit too far back. He couldn't get to Adzi in time for the Devourer, which ended up being the death of both of them. And yes, going back to that top lane, in default, 1 hit from dead cannot walk that close to Krebsley. Like, he's not gonna. He can't do anything. Like, he can't get in range at auto. And then Goose, booping Krebsley in for the auto attack. Not ideal either.
Yeah, maybe he thought that he might have been able to, remount again onto Skarl. With that last cure or with that last auto attack coming out from Default, but again, it's just those kind of mistakes that NSG constantly keep making that put them behind. And look at this, first brick gold was already secured by Sentinel, and they're rotating towards the Dragon, so they're getting 2 more objectives in their favor, and they're just starting to stack up quite a decent lead, almost 3,000 gold in their favor.
5-man top here from NSG.
A 4-man goon squad, or rather 5 in favor of NSG. They're going to pick up a kill. They want to see if they can actually trade something back. Looks like they will be able. Secure themselves a turret in return.
Yeah, I mean, a good move from NSG. I don't know if they need to commit everyone just to get that. I think they should probably look for Rift Herald here, get more off this, because Azrael's shoving in mid very hard with this Malzahar.
Yeah, they have to end those Void Lanes dealing a decent amount of damage to that turret. It's just going to keep that pushing power going. And the fact that no one from NSG rotated away from top lane towards the Herald, it just, again, there's just so much, or so many calls that could have been made that just, benefits them a lot better, but they're just not making them.
Exactly. They just choose to hang around the top lane and almost get the wave into turret, which doesn't achieve anything. Now they're positioned to Rift Herald, but it's too late. Sentinel are already in position. They can't just start it up.
Exactly, and Relson just keeps picking up the farm, and decent CS lead, almost 50 CS ahead, Relson and Adzi. So it's a very, very big difference towards that bottom lane. And you can already see it's a BF sword and a Zeal in favor of Relson, so you can already see he's benefiting a lot from that gold lead that he has.
Yeah, exactly. Really big lead. Very good play so far from Sentinel's bot lane. And Krebsy and Default are going to slap each other a while longer.
Yeah, they just love to slap each other, but I love the fact that Mr. Krebsy already picked up the vest, which helps him out and actually gets the grievous wounds onto Default, but that's not going to stop Default just yet. He's going to try and chase him down. Going to get a decent bit of healing there, but the damage that keeps on going back onto Default from the Brambleback vest, was it?
Bramble Vest.
Bramble vest. Close enough.
Close enough.
Close enough indeed.
Very close trades coming out here. It's still really tense between the two. You feel like either one of them could die at any moment, which is always nice to watch.
Yeah, definitely. And looking towards, we are always focused towards both these junglers, and we already see what kind of pressure is affecting a little bit more. Yes, it is 1-1-2 for Goose and 1-0-1 for Darkseelion. But honestly, there's just a lot more pressure that Darkseelion is actually having, because Goose gets to those places towards the top lane, towards the bottom lane, but he's just not doing the best he actually can, because sometimes he's just getting the kills away. There's a lack of communication between him and the lane he's trying to gank, so it's just not working out for them really well. But Azirael not going to get stunned, but Nisfar is going to get silenced. He might get ulted, and he will. The Voidlings might be able to secure the kill. The Unleashed Power going to be coming out and not going to be securing the kill. Nisfar and Azirael both escaping with a whisker of health.
Yeah, it was a close one indeed. Very nice dodge from Azrael on that final Q. Could have marked the end of him. But Nisfar having thrown the flash, so good trade for Azrael in the mid lane. Yeah,
definitely a good trade indeed. Still a flash available, but here comes Darkseelion and here comes Goose. Goose again trying to engage a little bit on his own. Needs to run away because there's nothing that he can really do, because Azrael is just a little bit healthier. The flash coming in, actually, not really. It's just going to be knocked back for the side of Goose, but he should be able to escape scot-free. But oh boy, the hook landing and immediately gets devoured.
And there's the power of the Tom Kench. Going back to the junglers, we see Goose attempting a lot more plays. So he's had slightly more successful ones, but he's also had a few unsuccessful ones. Whereas Steelion, he's done one thing and went really well. And apart from that, he's opened up this nearly 20 farm lead in the jungle.
Exactly, and the fact that he's actually helping out in just getting so much pressure on the lanes. They already secured bottom lane and mid lane turret, and I don't understand why Trick keeps stepping on those turrets immediately as soon as they're just put down there. He could have waited until Relson gets pushed back, but gonna get the lantern, gonna be able to run away pretty easily. And again, Default, Mr. Krebsy just gonna have their own wet noodle fight.
Behind him.
Yeah, Darkseelion's gonna be coming back. Default might not be able to escape. He doesn't have Skarl. He won't be able to charge out of there. He does have the flash. He might be able to escape, but I don't think he will. It's just gonna be another easy pickup here for Mr. Krebsy, and it's just gonna be yet another kill for Sentinel.
Yeah, as soon as Default was first to dismount off Kled, that means he's not able to ult away, so he's pretty much stuck in there between two heavy CC tanks. Not much you can do. Well, what NSG need is, you see Default pushing out within the turret. Not a single ward on that side of the map. They have no idea where Steelion is.
And that's just one of the many things that's currently wrong with NSG's game, to be honest, because we saw them last week. They had the exact same problems. They were giving away a lead in the first game, I believe, and they were still able to come back with the decision-making later on into the game. But oh boy, here we go. Caitlyn and Thresh going to be on their own, and they might be able to escape here. Might be forcing a flash from Goose to actually try and get to them, but are they actually going to get to escape here? Rels? Why did Burnsy go back and get rooted? I don't understand. He's just going to get stunned. Sentinel going to be coming down, going to get hooked up, going to get rooted. This is going to be a decent amount of damage. Here comes Zero to the rescue. And Trick's going to be the first victim of that fight. Rift Herald going to be swatting away at the backline of NSG, but it's just going to be a free kill here coming in favor of Sentinel once more.
I don't know why NSG is hanging around. They need to get out of here. It's a 4v5.
Yeah, Darkseelion's going to be coming, but Nisfar might be taking the wrong route here, and he might actually get picked up here. He doesn't have TP, he doesn't have Ghost, he doesn't have Flash, and looks like he might actually get left alone for the Herald. And he will, so he's going to actually escape. Herald's going to reset. He's angry, no one's giving him enough attention. And he's just going to go back to the Baron Pit.
Yeah, it's much like Dawoud most nights.
Oh, wow. What did I do to deserve that one?
Going back to the play, NSG, I like the idea, go for the 4-man pick top.
Yeah.
But you've got 4 people collapsing in on 2, and no one's cutting off the river. I don't understand that. I think Goose should be walking through the river as Nisfar comes in behind them, and the Tom Kench's on top of them, and then they're dead. But they leave off like the most obvious way to escape.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, again, this all goes back to NSG having a massive lack of communication. I thought it was just between Goose and Default, because I've seen it in multiple games for them where they weren't able to just have a successful gank or a successful kill towards that top side. But it just showed that the entire team isn't on the same page. Are they even on comms?
Well, I would hope so. I can't say for sure. Nisfar is, of course, very new to the scene. This is the first tournament. Goose has been on the team a little bit longer, not as long as the other 3. We see Adzi, Trick and Default have been playing together a good while. Museums had been the starting AD carry, only stepping down this tournament, but I know Adzi had been a part of the roster, a part of their practice for a long time before this, so they don't really have an excuse. They should be communicating better than this.
Yeah, definitely considering that they've been participating in tournaments a lot more than I think Sentinel, but looks like we're going to be seeing yet again. Here comes the flash, here comes the flay, and Trick is just going to be eating up that Tristana. He's going to try and run away. Here comes the charge. Darkseelan just going to flash and just going to take a bite out of Adzi, and he's going to take a whole bite and take him out. Darkseelan, the 1v4 in the backline, going to be taken down here. Here comes the taunt. He's going to get a double. Relson going to be securing yet another kill. He's going to go to the backline though, and here comes the 0, but Relson still going to be kiting all that time, and he's still surviving. Default not able to secure the kill just yet, and there he will. It's going to be 3-4-2 in favor so far of Sentinel, and it's just going to be another couple of kills. This is going to be, again, 4-4-2 in favor of Sentinel, and yet again, they come out on top.
Yeah, and this time I don't think it was the better team play, because Sentinel were fighting a 4v5. Azrael was not nearby to start that fight, chose not to TP. They should have been losing that fight by the time he got there, but some really nice kiting out from Relson, delaying his death as long as possible to allow Azrael to show up and clean up.
Yeah, and the fact that Darkseelan just flashed an 8 Adzi with one click, I mean...
Yeah, and we see Trick, I can understand the idea, he's like, oh crap, my AD carry is going to die, I'm going to exhaust Cho'Gath. But exhaust does not reduce true damage. True. So Cho'Gath just ate him anyway, it's like, okay, you wasted a summoner.
Yeah, and it does scale with health, if I'm not mistaken, so the fact that he has the or rather his jungle item complete, and the fact that he actually has as well the Righteous Glory, that's like a decent amount of health, and that just buffs his ultimate quite a bit as well.
Yeah, he's on about 3,300 health at the moment, which is pretty gargantuan.
I mean, 19 minutes into the game and he has 3.3k HP.
He already has 6 feast stacks as well, which is pretty huge.
Yeah, definitely. That's just not fair.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many of them are on minions, because if you don't know, you can only get 6 stacks of minions, but you can get an infinite amount from epic monsters and champions.
Darkseelan going to be jumping in, and he's going to try and knock up Goose, and that he will. Goose is just going to try and root someone, going to try and escape, but it's a free kill going towards Relson. And again, caught out of position, not working well in favor of NSG. And again, because they have a serious lack of vision all over the map, and especially around objectives, it's just not helping them. Here comes Burns, he's going to try, see if he can get the kill. I think the ultimate came out from Azrael, but it was stopped. Sentinel comes in and saves him in the last possible second, just before that last Q came out from these far. So
yeah, that was a little bit odd, but Azrael gets out okay. He still has to teleport.
When did the Herald actually come out here? Is it actually going to deal some damage to the turret?
Yeah, that's okay. I think it was about to run out for Steelion, so he tossed
deal
down
a decent bit.
They were able to force the turret down. That's all you need from Herald. If you get one turret, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah, definitely, because especially that it's a tier 2 turret in the mid lane, of course, one of the hardest ones to secure, so it just makes it really easy for them whenever they use the Herald. So yeah, really good move by Sentinel, but I expected it to be moved up a little bit or spawned a little bit closer to the turret. I thought it was spawned at a completely other lane, to be honest.
I think he spawned it in the river. Like it's been a couple of minutes since they did that Rift Herald, so I assume it was about to run out.
Yeah, I think it only lasts for 6 minutes.
I don't think it's 6 minutes. I think it's a bit shorter than that.
If it's not 6, then I'm pretty sure it's 4 minutes. Yeah, 240 seconds.
Yeah, that sounds more reasonable.
And that it does, but looking towards Sentinel, looking towards NSG, both these teams, honestly, definitely not what I expected from Sentinel, and definitely not what I expected from NSG as well. Sentinel are just coming on top in most of these skirmishes and most of these fights, and meanwhile NSG just not able to fight them on every front. They're just losing every fight that they go for, even the ones where they have a numbers advantage.
Yeah, NSG just need to put the brakes on here, get some farm on this Tristana and their big beefy tanks.
Oh, and it's going to be Goose, Tricked, and Default all going towards the 0. This looks like it just could be another free kill, or the first free kill for NSG. Finally, they're able to make a play, and finally they're able to close all sorts of any way, rather, for Azrael to escape.
Yeah, I say put the brakes on. If someone's not horribly overextended, then yes, kill them. I don't know why Azrael was so far up, especially against the Tahm Kench, who has this incredible pick capabilities if you're pushed up like that.
Yeah, especially the fact that he didn't have wards in the right positions. Yes, he had a couple ones in the river, but not ones deep enough, for example, behind the Rud buff or in the Tri-Bush, which I believe, of course, is where Trick came from, so he didn't have any vision on that Tahm Kench whenever he showed up.
Yeah, and like if he had done that while his team were pressuring, then it's okay because Sentinel can force the turret elsewhere. But no one else was on the map. He was just solo farming on NSG's side of the map, and you just can't do that against any competent team.
Yeah, exactly. And Look, I just keep looking at that Cho'Gath. Is it mirror? Does he actually have 4,000 HP at this point?
He has 4,000 HP.
He has 4,000 HP with not even 3 items completed. I'm not even counting the boots. Not even 3 proper items completed.
Yeah.
That's just insane. How much health will he actually have later on when he actually has like 4 or 5 or 6 items?
I don't want to know, to be honest.
I'm too scared?
Yeah.
Same.
I don't like tank meta, so this is upsetting for me to watch.
Yeah, I don't like that meta either, to be honest, because it just gets boring. It's like, yeah, I'm a tank and AD carries are useless.
Yeah, it's like, I just want someone to die. You know, people getting kills is so much more interesting than people not getting killed. I think that's pretty fundamental. So.
True. I mean, it's funny once or twice when you see someone just trying to take down a 9,000 HP Cho'Gath, but the Cho'Gath just stands there and he's like, okay, now you die, and he just eats him.
Yeah, and it would be interesting to see when Steelion decides to go for his Gargoyle Stoneplate.
Yeah, because I believe that doubles his HP when he's between 3 or more members of the enemy team.
Exactly. Oh, Adzy's going to be okay. Yeah, so he'll be up to 8,000 health already in the middle of a team.
Oh, God.
Which means his ult will probably one-shot Adzy, and that's just not going to be fun for anyone.
Imagine he gets to a point where he actually one-shots Goose. Just instantly, just eats the tree.
That'd be pretty funny.
Yeah, but it looks like Goose might be, again, a little bit overextended. We're going to be seeing yet another fight breakdown here. A couple of traps coming down.
Trick's in trouble.
Decent amount of damage here. Comes the ultimate coming out from Goose. The TP going to the backline. NSG are on the run, but I don't think they have anywhere to run. A couple of them will be knocked up. They will be chased down, and looks like Trick is the first victim of the fight. Default gets dismounted, and it's going to be Nisfar again picked up with another grasp coming out from Aziraal. Default, don't be greedy. Do not do that. And look at the flash from Relson with the 90 caliber net trying to secure the kill. Not enough damage onto Default, but this could mean it is going to be the Baron going over to Sentinel because Goose doesn't have a flash to go over the pit, and there is no blast cone to help him get across that wall.
Yeah, like we spend so long talking about how tanky Cho'Gath is, and NSG are like, okay, cool, we're going to pick him. Like, there's not enough damage on NSG.
That's the worst target ever, isn't it, for you to go for a pick on?
Exactly. So they try to get on Steelion. Steelion even gets to stand united. He didn't even need. And NSG blow all their cooldowns and then just get rolled by this Caitlyn in the backline.
Yeah, it's going to be Default trying to defend that bottom, but it's going to be the flash, and it is going to be the flay, and it's going to be the taunt and the knock-up. But Tricked to the rescue. Burned up minions, though, are going to help them siege up towards that top side. Maybe secure yet another turret in favor of Sentinel. Currently 15 kills to 6, 24 minutes into the game, and it is a 10,000 gold lead in favor of Sentinel right now.
That's the waste of TP.
Yeah, it's going to be Adzy picking up a free turret, so it's something for something for something rather for something and nothing.
Adzy will probably finish a second item before the end of the game, so that's always nice.
Not even close actually. He only has the two small components of. I think he could be going for a rapid fire or a static shiv, but
this game won't be over for at least another 2 minutes. He's getting a wave, so he'd probably be okay.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the difference. The fact that he has 2 components of one of the items. Meanwhile, looking at Relson, he already has the rapid fire cannon and the static shiv.
Yeah, Relson having a really good game with this Caitlyn.
Yeah, definitely.
NSG actually is trying to set up for this dragon if Nisfar just wasted everything.
Oh, and Nisfar trying to make a play. He's going to be able to flash out of there.
Okay.
And it's going to be the ultimate coming out from Goose to try and just disengage and dissuade Sentinel from chasing them down. Just going to try to secure themselves the blue buff, but it could be another Ocean Dragon going over to Sentinel, which makes it their 2nd Ocean Dragon and their 3rd overall Dragon.
Yes.
We could be seeing another one spawn after this one in 6 minutes, so...
Sentinel, it's Cloud Drake coming up again. Yeah, they won't be too happy about the Drakes this game, but they don't really need them.
Yeah, I don't think that we're even going to live to see the Elder Drake after the Cloud Drake, if it even gets secured at that point, because Sentinel, with this massive lead that they have, honestly, they have everything that they could possibly want to kind of siege up. The Baron buff is still available, so they can maybe even try and crack open this space and just spread NSG thin across multiple lanes.
Yeah, they didn't do a very good job of getting their side lanes pushing, so you see some delay here as they try to get the minions up to the spot lane tier 2. With leaving Shen in the top lane, Azul in the mid lane. I think this is a really good setup. Not a huge amount NSG can do against this 3-lane push.
Yeah, it's going to be, of course, Mr. Krebsy towards the top side, Aziraal in the mid lane. And 3-man stack of Sentinel towards the bottom side.
He's now showing some respect to Tom Kench. That's good. Never mind, he's walking up again.
And he's walking back. Aziraal going to be able to dodge that stun with his passive. Oh, it is going to be the Lantern coming in and the Stand United. Beautiful, beautiful play coming out from Sentinel. And they still come out on top, securing the bottom side turret. Almost, and yeah, they will. Also, I remember one thing about making sure that you click a Lantern when there's like 3-4 people on top of it. Zoom in on your champion, and then you'll be able to easily click that Lantern.
Yeah, and a pro tip for you Thrashers out there, don't throw the lantern onto the people you're trying to save. Throw it slightly in front of them so there's actually a radius to click.
Yeah, exactly. And just makes it easier for them to escape. So really well played by Burnsy and really well played by Azerald. That's the kind of communication that I expected from NSG, but it's just not showing up. But
I'm going to take some umbrage with this. Really well played by Azerald. He should not have been that pushed up.
Yeah.
Like, I was about to praise him and then he just walked up again.
You can praise him for flashing.
It was a good flash. I give him that. Good reaction from Mr. Crapsey as well with the stand United, just to keep him alive. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like, you see how safe Malzah's wave clear is. He doesn't need to walk up to the turret to clear the wave.
Yeah, he just gets in, puts the Malefic Visions and just walks away. Let the Voidlings do the damage.
Or like when you're solo pushing as a split pusher, you aren't the one trying to take the turret. You're trying to draw someone to let the rest of your team take a different turret. You don't need to push up that hard.
Yeah, exactly. And with the Baron buff expiring just now, so it kind of just weakens the siege potential coming out from Sentinel, but they're still trying to go for something here.
Decent wave does not clear. Care about anything right now.
Yeah, but he shouldn't, because look at him. He's massive. What is that HP?
Yeah, and he's building more magic resist as well. I feel like he should get some armor, to be honest, just for the Tristana, because like if Syndra's ulting him, something's gone horribly wrong. He just
finished the static shiv, so he's almost relevant.
Yeah, there you go. He only needs like 4 more items to damage Shogath.
Yeah, I mean he's going to be going for the rapid fire cannon next, and then maybe he's going to be going for the Lord Dominic's. That's when he's actually going to be dealing decent damage to Dark Celion. But
yeah, I've seen this before.
Goose. Oh boy, he's going to be going for the engage, and here comes the charge. And easy to disengage from the Lantern, but Tricked is trying to go for something with the Abyssal Voyage. Dark Celion might get caught out here. Default going to be going with the Bear Trap, going to try and catch him. He's going to get knocked up. Not going to get rooted though, but Goose, or rather Dark Celion is going to get stunned. He might actually get taken out with the bomb, but not really. And again, NSG trying to go for pigs. They're going to go for Mr. Crapsey this time, but again, it's just not going to work out for them. Meanwhile, look towards the bottom side of the map as Azerald is just constantly pushing. Definitely NSG, or rather Sentinel, want to keep them from backing. They definitely want to take this fight and just chase them down.
Good stun coming out from these far there. Yeah, this is just a really strange sequence of events. I was wondering where Sentinel was.
Oh, the flash hook coming out from Burnsy. He actually lands the hook onto Nisfar, but it's going to be Trick coming up for the rescue. Burnsy taking down on the back of the fight. Adzi going to be jumping and trying to secure a couple more kills. Dark Celion eats him up, says thank you very much. Starts chasing down the rest of Sentinel. Here comes NSG again trying to do something. They're trying to just disengage and don't go to defend their base, but Ralston says not today and secures yet another kill. 3 for 1. In favor of Sentinel, and an inhibitor taking down towards the bottom side of the map with a Baron coming up in a minute and a half. This is the worst case scenario for NSG.
Yeah, like, you know, they always have to commit to the fight or need to stop and get out. But what happens is default goes back to stop Azerald, and then all of a sudden NSG get rolled in the 4v4 because they can't disengage well enough.
Exactly, and as they're all going to be trying to do rather a decent amount of damage towards that mid lane turret and take them away, or just get that focus towards the mid lane and then easily rotate towards the top lane.
Stelion doesn't take damage right now.
Yeah, he's just nothing. Negative damage coming out from that turret.
Yeah, I'm expecting to see some more tank bans coming in game 2.
Definitely. The Cho'Gath has to be banned. That is just insane coming out from the side of Sentinel. And considering the NSG should be the ones on blue side next game, they might have the pick potential for Cho'Gath. But here's the thing, will Sentinel allow them to even go for that pick?
I don't know, like they could do what NSG did and look to trade it for the Maokai. I don't know how comfortable Sentinel are with the Maokai. I know Goose will pick up the Cho'Gath if needs be.
Yeah, definitely. And I just noticed something. Dark Celion just used one of his feast stacks on the minions. So he could have either reached 6 now, or he could have not even reached 6 stacks yet on his feast. So how much longer?
Yeah,
I have to ask.
So I'd say that's at least like 10 total stacks he's on now with that feast. Because I've seen him take down a couple of people and a dragon with it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure so far that he has 2 kills onto Adzi just with the ultimate. So he has 2 stacks alone from Adzi on his own. So
yeah, and we see him building towards that stone plate now, and that's going to be an even bigger problem. He's got 5,500 health.
So he's going to be 11,000 HP.
Yeah, and he's got 11 stacks on the feast.
Oh boy.
Ultimate just coming
11,000 HP Dark Celion once he actually gets this stone plate, and once he actually procs it between all the members, but they don't. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. They're going to try and start up this Baron. And it's going to be Trick going to be knocked up and just taken down, or rather just pushed back here.
Okay.
Oh boy, but it looks like Mr. Krupsy going to get stunned. And here comes
Goose
the hit
ham.
from Goose yet again, and from Default. And here we go, Ultimate coming out once more, and it's going to be Relton on the back line. Ultimate coming out onto Default, trying to dissuade him, keep him away from the AD carry. But one by one, they're going to fall like dominoes. 3 kills already secured for the side of Sentinel, all traded for Relton though. but they might actually still be able to go for the Baron, and they will. There is no jungler, Nisvar and Adzi on their own. They have no peel for them, but meanwhile, in their base, they have super minions already knocking down the doors of the Nexus, and there goes the first Nexus turret. And Adzi's going to try and jump in and do something here. They're just trying to buy time, but their base is being torn apart. What are NSG doing?
They can just double TP in and end the game right now if they wanted to.
They could, but they might want to secure the Baron first and then go for those TP. And it's going to be the Baron secured. White Ceiling is going to be eaten, but doesn't really matter. Nisvar going to get taunted, going to get locked up, and going to get taken down. And the same thing can be said for Adzi.
Oh,
or not. He's actually going to ult away. Might be able to go for the knockup.
Just run Adzi, you can't fight.
He doesn't do any damage to Dark Stelion.
And Stelion knows it. Oh, meanwhile, Azrael into the base. He's taking it.
And here comes Mr. Krabsy as well. It's going to be a double kill actually secured by Azrael in the base. It could be a triple. Default's really low when he could actually get secured. And it is going to be a triple. But Adzi coming in with the one shot.
Perhaps they probably can't kill him.
Why would you jump in close? Why? Why would you go close to the tank? And he actually gets secured. And that should be the first game of this best of 3 going over to Sentinel. And they see they're just getting one step closer to securing themselves that second spot and continuing to the quarterfinals.
Yeah, a bizarre ending to an exciting game and a really well played one by Sentinel. I think definitely deserving that victory.
Yeah, and Adzi was actually building towards the Bork for the third item.
Yeah, well, he couldn't kill Shoutcast. So
he couldn't kill anyone.
Very true.
He got lucky. He ulted Burnsy, but honestly, just NSG definitely have to change a lot of things if they expect to come out strong in the second game. But really well played to Sentinel. Not going to take anything away from them. They had a really, really beautiful game coming out from them. But don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back with Game 2 between Sentinel Gaming and Nuclear Storm Gaming. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this best of three between Sentinel Gaming and Nuclear Storm Gaming. I'm Dawoud, Sandstorm Dawoud, and again, joining me for this series is Jake XJ Gorman, the self-proclaimed best jungler in Ireland. Are you ready for game two?
I'm so ready. It was a pretty fun watch game one. Sentinel coming out on top fairly convincingly, but nonetheless, I enjoyed watching it, and I want to watch another one.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I can't wait to see what Sentinel offered this game, because we were talking about a lot of their pick potential in the first game between what they can do with the Malzahar and what they can do with the Thresh, and the fact that Tricked on that support Tom Kench can do a lot to actually counteract whatever the set of Sentinel can do, but it just didn't work out for them in that game.
Yeah, I think Tricked might try strategy this game where you don't walk into lane and die.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, that might help them out a bit. I think nonetheless, Sentinel's individual strengths did ring through that game. We saw a big lead in the bot lane. Mid lane was pretty even. Top lane, not the greatest early, but that's what you expect with Shen into Khaled. But overall, even the team play was a good bit better. I felt like better communication, actually working as a team, whereas NSG seemed a bit disjointed in parts.
Yeah, they definitely felt like they were all over the place because, I mean, one of the plays that I wanted to talk about, of course, was the blunder towards the top lane when they were going for the Caitlyn for Relson and Burnsy, of course, and no one seemed to cover the river, so some of them went throughout the actual lane, and I think Tom Kench jumped into the lane where they actually were, and then you had Goose, who was on the wrong side of the river with no blast going, and he had the flash available, but he wasn't going to burn it to go onto them on his own. Yeah, so they just ran away for no reason. And the fact, I do have to point out the mistake, of course, of Burnsy, getting caught out in the ultimate of Goose. He was already out of there. He didn't have to go back.
Yeah, I'm going to call that a calculated bait. We saw the Shen ult come in. He actually survived through it. So I'm going to say he's a genius, and he meant that.
It was all calculated. All part of the plan.
It looked really dumb, though. I'll give you that.
It did. But I guess...
Hey, if it works out, then you're a good player. That's
it fooled NSG, and it fooled us as well, to be honest, because it still worked out for the side of Sentinel. And
yeah, it was a classic bait and switch, really. They're like, oh, hey, look, we got Thresh, and then Shen's here. Like, no, you got me.
It's like, you got Thresh, but we got you. Yeah. But Sentinel Gaming definitely coming out of the blue here. And NSG, they're on the back foot now. They're 1-0 down, so they have to come out with with something special if they want to get back into the series, because...
It's do or die time. If they lose this, they're gone.
Yeah.
Like, one of the best known teams in Ireland out of the group stage already would be a pretty big blow to morale for them.
Definitely. I mean, considering they came second in the last tournament that we know, which was QCon, if I'm not mistaken, up in Belfast.
Yeah.
Their performance was pretty admirable as well there.
Yeah, like they did okay. Like QCon didn't attract as many teams as the likes of Raid or G Series would have, so it wasn't as competitive as a lot of the other tournaments. But nonetheless, NSG showed up. They had some good games, some good plays.
Yeah, definitely. And also, I can't wait to jump into this next game to see, of course, what kind of changes we're looking at. We're looking at rather towards the pick and ban. And we're immediately going to start off with Shen taken away from Mr. Crepsley.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Crepsley, he's known to be able to play two champions. He can play four, I'd say. But Shen did give them a lot of problems that game, so I think it's a good place to start. Playing against Stand United can be really difficult as a team, so...
True. And of course, having to keep track of the TP and the ultimate from Stand United, of course, could be a little bit difficult.
Lots of global pressure. Kalista, staple ban against Adsi, it's his most played champion, so look you, he likes it a lot.
Definitely just want to take that away. And looks like the Maokai is taken away, so that tells me that NSG might want to try and pick up the Cho'Gath unless it's banned by Sentinel.
Yeah, I think Sentinel should just ban the Cho'Gath here and even it out. And the Zac also, good ban, red side, as I said last time.
What would NSG ban in the third one, actually? Would they take away the...
Azir, probably, I'd say.
I was just going to say, would they take away the Azir from Aziril, or...
Personally, I don't think they should, but they will. They
will just because they're scared of it? Or maybe they could go for a statement of, you know what, we want you on your best champion.
Braum?
Okay, no, Caitlyn. Caitlyn makes a lot more sense because that way Default would want to pick up the Cho'Gath in the first rotation. But Sentinel are just not going to have any of it.
Yeah, the reason I think you leave the Azir up is Azir, it's definitely not a priority pick. Like Sentinel have no need to pick it in the first rotation. Yeah. So there's no need to ban it. Also, Azir... As much as Azrael is strong on it, it's just not that good a champion at the moment. So I'd personally be happy enough to play into it. I don't know how Nisfar feels about it. First pick, Thresh. A lot of value for Burnsy last game. I don't think Tricked is as comfortable on it. But I
think his most comfortable champion, of course, for Tricked here, was the Morgana.
He does like the Morgana.
He loves playing Morgana. And also in the last series that we saw them play in the last week, his Dark Binders were like homing missiles, so I was kind of surprised that they're not going to go for it. But looks like the Braum that they were thinking about banning for the set of NSG is just going to get picked up here for Sentinel.
Burnsy is a big Braum player. I guess that's why they're considering the ban. It's pretty good against the Thresh, and they're actually going to deny Adzi's Tristana here, which I quite like that move.
Yeah, definitely. But
Goose to the Elise, I think that's a good pick. It's the big tank jungler is gone. Elise is the strongest playmaking jungler right now, in my opinion. So, good choice.
Yeah, I think just because I just feel that Goose doesn't belong on tank junglers.
No,
he doesn't.
Goose is much like myself. I like to joke that he just copies what I do. Like he likes to be the playmaker, the exciting person on Elise, Lee Sin, You put him on a tank, he's just going to get bored and do nothing.
Exactly. I think he just feels that he's out of place whenever he's playing something like a tank. He just doesn't know exactly what he's doing, just as you said.
Yeah, and the Xayah pick for Adzi is very interesting.
Definitely. It provides a lot of utility, of course, with the feathers and all the roots that he can actually provide. But the thing is, into something like the Braum, he could counter the ultimate just, of course, with his wall and stop any sort of feathers from coming through. And they'll just stop a lot of the utility coming out from the stuns as well.
Yeah, and I like this Gragas pick for Steelion. It's a pretty solid, reliable pick. It's even stronger now with the Cinderhulk buffs. So this is a really solid team fighting comp from Sentinel Gaming so far.
Yeah, definitely.
Going to take away the Syndra as well, which is a solid ban. Syndra always a strong pick, really. We'll be interested to see. I think NSG are going to focus Azrael with these bans here. Could see the likes of Azir Kassadin coming out. Maybe even the Malzahar that did cause them quite a few problems last game. It's going to be the Azir.
Yeah, true, but Azir still has to be taken away. Still, I think there's a decent amount of respect for Azir or just Nisfar not comfortable playing against someone's one trick on his one trick. And Syndra, of course, as you said, was already taken away from Nisfar, and Sentinel Gaming just want to make sure that Azir is as comfortable as possible in the mid lane, because we saw in the last game what he was able to do on the Malzahar. He was able to rotate, and he was able to rotate because he was just free to roam. Because he wasn't constantly under pressure, you just put the Malefic Visions and then rotate.
And we see here Sentinel banning the Orianna. They have no interest in picking that champion.
No.
No.
I highly doubt it, because as you said yourself last game, Azrael just loads that champion,
like,
so...
He genuinely thinks Orianna's a terrible champion, so it's not going to be picked up by him anytime soon.
What's your point of view, though, on Orianna?
She's one of the best mid laners in the game, and has been for years.
Yeah, there you go. I mean... just her Shockwave and the utility she provides with everything, and the burst of damage of Shockwave Dissonance, and even attack if you're quick enough, just massive amounts of damage.
A blind pick LeBlanc would be interesting.
Ooh, it would be very interesting.
This is pretty much the most aggressive thing Azrael can play. He's never been one for the melee assassins or anything like that, but he did pick up the LeBlanc. So it's going to be interesting. I don't know what Nisfar is going to pick into this. I don't know how deep his champion pool goes.
Yeah, let's just see what the side of Nisfar is going to be doing. He might go for the Victor, he might go for the Talia. There's still a couple of options available. I'm not too sure what he's going to go for, of course, against the LeBlanc. And, of course, the fact that the Gragas was picked up for Dark Celion.
Twisted Fate is interesting.
Destiny might be able to counter the ultimate coming up from the Blanc, but it's not the same cooldown, is it?
I feel like Nisfar, it's a much higher cooldown than his ultimate. I think he's just going to want to get out of the map as soon as he can, start roaming, because I think he's going to lose out on that 1v1 lane. Top laners still need to come in. Default Jarvan, solid pick. So it's Mr. Krebsley as counter pick, and his beloved Sion is up. I'd expect either Sion or Renekton coming in here.
True, and Sion would do well, I believe, against the Jarvan in the top lane.
I can't say I've ever played that matchup, and I'm glad to say I haven't, because that sounds
You don't
awful.
want to, do you?
No.
You just stay in the jungle.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Just going to fight people. I don't want to go up against any Sions or anything like that, you know?
I mean, considering the changes ages ago, I think in 7.11 to the Doran's Ring and everything, it stopped the Gragas from being played towards the top side. And as you said, it is going to be the Renekton going up against the Jarvan in the top lane. So last time we were seeing kind of a fiesta in the top lane just with the concentrates, but there's going to be a lot of damage in that top side of the map now.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting matchup. Like, a lot of kill pressure come out from both Jarvan and Renekton. And they also have excellent gank setup. So we could see a lot of plays being made in that top lane.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, if Renekton's close enough, he could facilitate the gank coming out from Dark Celion towards the top side of the map. And honestly, and again, it all comes down to the communication between the members of the team. We saw Sentinel Gaming, they were on point. They were all on the same page, on the same line, on the same letter on that page, of course. Meanwhile, NSG were just playing a different game.
Yeah, I agree completely. I think we're going to see a lot of topside action this game in general. Because if you look at the bot lanes here, Tristana, incredibly safe. Braum, really safe. Thresh with his Lantern makes Xayah extremely safe as well.
Yep.
So it's a really difficult lane to gank for both of these guys. And
Especially after 6-4 Xayah, of course, with her Featherstorm.
Exactly, yeah. So I think most of the plays will be happening in either the top or the mid lane. They're going to be a lot more explosive.
Yeah.
And with Goose on the Elise, he's going to be looking for some early ganks.
Yeah, and honestly, I think the fact that we're seeing Nisfar on the Twisted Fate in the mid lane, he's going to be a lot less mobile, of course, than the LeBlanc. So we could be seeing a lot more focus from Dark Celion towards that mid lane and see if he can put back Nisfar on that Twisted Fate, because Honestly, I'm not too sure what summoner spell the LeBlanc's going to be going for in the mid lane. Sometimes you could see them go for the Ignite for more pressure, or they could go for the TP just for more lane dominant, or rather map dominance rather.
I feel like taking the TP against Twisted Fate just to counteract his ultimate and get those counter kings off could well be worth it. Then again, Azrael might just feel comfortable in the 1v1 and want to go aggressive with Ignite. Nisfar on the other side, I'd expect a defensive summoner, maybe Ghost Heal Barrier, I guess maybe Barrier, or you could just go for the TP and just TP back to lane.
You could go for the Flash TP, yeah. I think Flash Ghost as well, as you said, it's optional for Twisted Fate just for that chase potential. And honestly, I love the Ghost on Twisted Fate just because later on in the later stages of the game, the cooldown on his W can be very low. You get the stun, a second or two later, you can proc that W again, see if you can get another stun. And of course, if you're quick enough on, if your reflexes are well enough on the Twisted Fate, it could work out really well for yourself.
Yeah, I agree completely. But either way, whatever somebody takes, there's not much you can do against Body Slam Flash. So if Steelion gets a good engage in that mid lane, Nisfire is pretty damn dead.
Yeah, agreed. And now, of course, we forgot to touch on Goose on that Elise. We touched on it, of course, at the beginning of the pick ban phase, the fact that Goose can be a little bit aggressive with the Cocoon, can try and make a lot of plays. You said the best playmaking champion yourself.
Yeah,
especially with the hook towards the bottom lane, the stun towards the mid lane, and the knock up towards the top lane. So he can have his pick towards which lane he wants to be aggressive with.
Yeah, exactly. And I think in the matchup against Gragas, he's got a lot more dueling pressure. So if they meet each other, Dark Steelion's going to have to run away or he's going to die. So he should be able to take the run of the map and gank where he wants to gank. And it's going to be on Steelion to scout it out and try warn his team where Goose is going.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, the matchup between the fat man himself, Gragas, and the Elise, you could body slam into the Spiderlings, which kind of removes a lot of your damage. So yeah, definitely the fight would go, or the skirmish advantage would definitely go in favor of Goose on that Elise.
Yeah, so like that being said, from playing against Steelion, he can be very annoying with his warding. He likes to get green spite a lot and get those deep wards into the enemy jungle. So I think he is one of the best junglers at tracking in the Irish scene. He should be able to keep pretty good tabs on where Goose is going.
Yeah, definitely. And hopefully NSG will be able to put down a little bit more vision towards their objectives, because again, we saw from the last game they were constantly getting caught out and just constantly being baited into those plays that Sentinel just keeps setting up.
Yeah.
And they might be able to play around it this time, especially that they have a Twisted Fate. Hopefully he might have a TP, so he'll have his own ultimate with Destiny, of course, might be able to be all over the map out multiple times, so it could work out really well for them. Or they could fall to the same trap and Sentinel could come out on top.
Yeah, very true. I mean, it's hard to make predictions like based on last game. If NSG play like that again, they're just going to get rolled, I think. They do have kind of the slightly more aggressive team. They both have some aggressive picks and some scaling picks. It is quite balanced. Though I think going into late game team fights, it could be a bit of a problem for them. With the Tristana, I think other than that they're okay, but getting onto this Tristana is going to be a real ask for NSG's lineup.
Yeah, definitely, especially against the disengage coming out from Braum with the Glacial Fissure. You got the Body Slam coming out from Dark Steelion, as well as the Explosive Cask, unless he uses it for an engage. You got multiple slows, roots, stuns coming out, of course, from the LeBlanc, from the Renekton, so needs a lot of work. But of course, there's a lot of burst. You got the Elise, if he, of course, he's going to go for the Runic Echoes. You got the Twisted Fate burst. You got the Jarvan burst. So if they do actually get a chance and do get to the backline and get onto Relson, he's going to get insta-gibbed. But unless there's a good amount of peel from Sentinel Gaming and they stop any sort of engage from NSG, then it would work out in their favor later on.
Yeah, something big is going to be Burnsy's ability to block these gold cards going out from Twisted Fate. If he can prevent the stun onto Tristana, she can easily get out of Jarvan's Cataclysm and away from Goose, and should have no problems at that stage wiping up the fight, because thankfully we see here not nearly as many hyper tanks. So
yeah, I think. Is there even any hyper tank in this game?
Well, I'm expecting
Gragas?
I'm expecting to see Cinderhulk on Gragas this game.
I mean, some people still go Runic Echoes even after the changes.
Very true. Like, it's still a viable option. But I feel like a big part of Runic Echoes Gragas was giving him back that mana whenever you procced it, because Gragas is very mana hungry. But due to the recent changes, there's another 45% base mana regen on the upgraded smites, which is a huge help for Gragas.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you have the cheaper Bami Cinder. So you can get that much earlier, and it helps you clear quite a lot.
I believe it's cheaper by 200 gold from 1100 to 900.
Yeah.
And I think the base damage towards minions was increased, wasn't it?
Yeah, another 50% or maybe more.
Especially on the Gragas with, I mean, literally every single one of his abilities is an AoE, so his clear is just going to get even stronger with the Bami Cinder.
Yeah, I've played a little bit of it this patch, and you can really feel the difference in the damage. Things are going down a lot quicker.
Yeah, definitely. And ladies and gentlemen, we should be jumping into the game pretty soon. Of course, this is the second game between Nuclear Storm Gaming and Sentinel Gaming. Currently, Sentinel Gaming leading this best of 3 series 1-0. And of course, everything's on the line here for NSG, so they have to bring everything they got to this game.
Exactly. And what do you think? Do you think they're going to be able to pull this back into a game 3?
Honestly, they have the means. They have Goose on something that he loves. The Elise is something that he can be very aggressive on. They have a good amount of global pressure coming out from Nisfar on the Twisted Fate. But honestly, it's all about communication for me. We stressed this a lot in the last game, but because it showed there was a huge difference between both these teams. We saw that Nuclear Storm Gaming weren't able to set up simple plays and a simple gank towards the top side. Meanwhile, Sentinel were just able to make plays on the fly all over the map.
Yeah, I agree completely. I'm expecting Sentinel to take this 2-0. But NSG definitely could surprise us here.
Yeah, definitely. And hopefully we should be jumping into this game pretty soon. But what do you think is your featured matchup in this game right now?
Featured matchup? Like, I think it has to be on the junglers again. The big question is, what can Goose do if he gets around the map? If he gets his team rolling, they should be good to go. If he doesn't get those leads, based on last game, Sentinel or Nuclear Storm Gaming aren't going to be able to do that much.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, we saw in the last game, of course, between Goose and Darkstelion. Darkstelion was able to apply a lot more pressure. He was ahead on farm. He was able to just help out push lanes. He was able to help secure the bottom lane turret, the mid lane turret, and again, because of the global pressure they had from Mr. Krebsley on the Shen, because they were able to make all these plays. But maybe Goose will be able to fight back. But ladies and gentlemen, we are on to the raid for the second game of this best of 3 between Nuclear Storm Gaming and Sentinel Gaming.
I spell an invade coming out here as well. Both teams heading towards the bot side.
Yeah, because, I mean, both these teams have something that can use to be very aggressive. Nisfar can start with a W for a stun, or it could be a hook or a flay from Tricked. Q, of course, coming out from Burnsy, start with those concussive blows. So it could work for either one of those teams, or one of them could just know an invade's happening.
Yeah, it looks like NSG actually opted for the fan. Tricked could be in trouble here, depending on how he plays this. And
oh boy,
he should be fine. He might have to
put
flash.
a ward down. They're gonna get the Q. It is gonna get the slow onto Tricked. He might get slowed. He might get stunned. Oh, it's gonna be the hook coming onto Burnsy though. He's gonna take a couple of turret shots. No flashes, no summoners forced. So at least they get a decent amount of information for the side of NSG.
Yeah, and good positioning from Tricked sitting in the back of that brush. If he'd been too pushed up, he mightn't be able to get away without flashing.
Yeah, exactly.
NSG just kind of hanging out here.
And they were trying to see if they can maybe try and catch someone out. But I love the fact that as soon as that happened, Default went towards the top side jungle and he warded on the near the Raptor. So they're going to find out where Darkstelion is going to start. And that bit of information is going to help them within the first couple of minutes to find out which path Darkstelion is going to take. And Goose could work around it.
Exactly. And that's the weird thing about Sentinels invade there. They walked in and they walked away. They didn't put a ward down, which is what you need to do. Yeah. And they could be looking for a bit of a cheese invade here, I think.
Definitely, because Nisfar and Default, they have vision. They know exactly what Darkselion's doing, and they could be going in here. Going to try and maybe take a couple of camps away. Yeah, they're definitely going to secure maybe one or maybe even more. So Darkselion's not going to be able to get level 2 off the camp. I mean, while Burnsy towards the bottom side, going to get a decent amount of damage here coming out from Adzi and from Trick. Being a little bit aggressive here, but still NSG might be able to benefit something because let's watch the level on Darkstelion. I don't think he's not going to get level 2 from those camps, or from that camp rather.
Yeah, losing 1 is okay. You'll still get level 2, but you can't afford to lose 2. So a nice little slightly cheesy move from NSG, giving Goose the advantage.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, if you lose 2 small ones, you won't be able to get it. But if you lose 1, you'd get level 2 after killing the large Raptor. So
exactly,
definitely a decent lead for Goose right now. And this just helps him out in being a little bit more aggressive early on.
Yeah, and Goose is definitely looking for level 3 gank there. You might see he skipped clearing the big Raptor. He just did the small ones and moved on. So he's going for the fastest level 3 he can. It's a nice trade coming in from Azrael.
Yeah, definitely he's going to try and secure the blue and maybe go towards the top side rather.
I'd expect so.
Yeah, he just hit level 3, so he's going to be rotating there. He has already pinged that he's on his way.
Oh, good word from Crapsley.
Yeah.
Seeking it out.
Definitely knowing the fact that Darkcelion won't be able to provide any sort of pressure early on. Mr. Krebsy knows that there should be early aggression coming up from Goose, and we're at the right time, but here's the thing, maybe the gank could be coming in from the bush in the river rather than the tri-bush.
He could repel in, it'll be a little harder to pull off. Steelion actually already has a back, which is huge, but here comes Goose coming in top lane.
Yeah, he's going to be going towards the top lane, level 2 onto Mr. Krebsley, so I don't think he would have the slice and dice, he'd have the Q and the E.
He is slice and
have
dice.
to run away.
Yeah. Oh,
but Azrael's going to get a decent amount of damage on the Lords. This proc Ignite has come down, but no kills just yet. And of course, both mid laners, I believe Nisfar is actually one with the Ignite. We expected Azrael on the LeBlanc to be the one with the Ignite. What's going on?
Really strange, and like he didn't get much value out of it there. Apparently feeling very confident in this lane.
Definitely, and we're going to be seeing running into a pause.
Excellent.
XD.
Wouldn't be an Irish series without a pause.
Yeah, I mean, we have to have. I mean, you're the one who made the joke this time, so I can't get blamed. Last time I was blamed by John for bringing that up, but it's not my fault this time. But
we'll stop bringing it up when there stops being pauses.
True. But I believe there was a question mentioned last time. I'm not too sure if we want to go over it this time. I think John begged the question of who lasts longer, the pause or Goose. I don't know if you were there, but
no comment.
No comment. Okay.
Yeah.
The question's not. It's about Goose. No comment kind of says that you might know about Goose. Really. Are you hiding something?
I hope not.
Oh boy. No. We're just gonna stop. People are not too happy about that.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
That one's on you.
Yeah. Okay. I'll take the blame for that. That's my bad.
Okay. So I've no word as to yet as why there is a pause. I don't know how long it's going to be, unfortunately.
Yeah, but hopefully we should be jumping back into the game pretty soon. It could be just a disconnect, some technical difficulties. Hopefully no packet loss, though.
Oh, don't even mention that.
No, we have to. It's a pause. Something's going to happen.
I was actually getting terrible packet loss when I was playing last night, funny enough.
Yeah, agreed.
Have you ever tried to play Azir while you're frozen?
No, I've seen Wolfie play Echo, though, with packet loss. Throws out the Time Winder, the Q, and it disappears. It doesn't come back. You just see it go out, and then it just doesn't come back. It keeps going.
I mean, I've seen you play Echo without packet loss, and that was...
my Echo?
Yeah.
Well, no, I never said my Echo was good. It's like, yeah, I have level 7, but I'm still terrible at him.
Fun fact, guys, Dawoud has 100% win rate in raid tournament so far.
Yes, I doodly do. I mean, we played against Catalyst, was it?
Mm-hmm. It was indeed.
Yeah, I played Corky, and I had a very terrible game where I was out-damaged by the support Braum.
Was it a Braum or a Tarek?
No, Braum. Was it Tarek? I'm not too sure, to be honest.
Either way, you got out-damaged by like a Nami one trick, so...
Yeah, true. A Nami mastery spamming one trick.
That's true.
Very salty. But going back to the game, we saw a little bit of aggression coming out from the side of NSG. They're definitely coming out swinging this time in this game with the amount of information that they got early on and the fact that they tried to set Sentinel behind just by taking away the Raptors camp and setting Darkcelion behind rather as well. So it could work out in their favor for the next couple of minutes, but it would only do so much for them this much early on.
Yeah, like I like the mindset to come out with. I like that Goose is looking for this early gank. Fortunately, he wasn't able to find it with a good heads-up ward from Mr. Krebsley. Yeah. But I think he's going to keep looking. He's going to keep searching. Maybe try to get some pressure down in the mid lane. Twisted Fate has extremely reliable stun.
Yeah, he really, really does. And let's actually talk about the fact that there's an Ignite on Twisted Fate in mid lane.
Yeah, that's pretty bizarre. I was expecting him to,
TP? Ghost?
Something defensive anyway. I was not expecting to be the aggressor in this lane. We saw him already try to... Like, he walked up, used his combo and ignited, and then he realized he'd already used his combo, so he had nothing else to do.
Yeah, because that's really all that Twisted Fate really does. As soon as you get the stun, as soon as you get that burst damage with the Thunderlords, that's really it.
Yeah, but the good news is we're back into game. Steelion looking for an invade.
Yeah,
he's going to get it for free.
And he's actually going to trade something that he basically lost on his side of the Raptors, so he should be just fine getting that large one.
Actually, yeah, it's still the large one just up, which is... Not what he's expecting. Like at this point, like the entire camp, you'd expect to be respawning in about 20 seconds. So that's going to be a really late second rate for Goose, which will be a bit annoying. And he didn't actually gain much off getting that super fast level 3.
Yeah, but looking towards Darkcelion, he used the blast cone to try and jump over the wall. He's going to be heading towards the bottom side of the map. We could be looking at an early first blood. As he's going to be able to flash out of there. Concussive blows not able to proc, but it's going to be the hook rather landing onto Relson. It's going to be a decent amount of damage coming out from Adzi and Trick. They're fighting back. They're not giving up anything. And the fact that actually still both summoners were forced out of Adzi still means that it is a beneficial gank coming out from Dark Celion.
True, but 2 flashes blown on the side of Sentinel. I don't think they should have tried to force that so hard with NSG so close to their turret, especially against the Thresh. I've learned this lesson more than once. Don't gank a Thresh too close to his turret, because he will flay you back in and hook you, and then your bot lane will flame you for feeding double buffs.
Yeah, exactly. I assume this happened to you multiple times.
Ah, yeah.
Sure, big grand. But decent damage coming out from Relson onto Adzi here. Concussive blows
here's Goose.
but here comes Goose. He's going to get
No
the
flash,
lantern.
Burnsy.
He's not going to be able to get the cocoon just yet. It is actually going to land onto Burnsy. He's not going to be able to escape, and that is first blood going over to Adzi.
There we go, very nicely played. Just as I was saying, I don't know why they went so hard. It instantly punished for it. Good timing from Goose to be into that bot lane.
Yeah, definitely really well played this time coming out from the side of Nuclear Storm Gaming. They're the ones who actually get the kill onto the support, so same thing that happened last game, but it was a little bit of an overstep rather on Trick, but this time it was a really good play, and this is the sort of communication we want from NSG.
Exactly, but then with you inside a Sentinel, like there was a ward on Goose when he walked over his Wraith camp. They should know he's on his golems because his top side is still dead. So they had no business going aggressive in the 2v2 there. Nice trade from Grapsy.
Yeah, definitely. He has the wave in his favor, so he knows that Default can't really fight him at this point. So he just deals a decent amount of damage and then forces him under his own turret, trying to see if he can get a decent amount of CS lead in his favor.
Yeah, exactly. And Azur will open up a 10 CS lead in this mid lane, despite essentially being down a summoner. He hasn't used his TP yet, but Nisfar's already blown Ignite.
Yeah, but there is the passive onto Nisfar, and the first item actually being a Merc Treads onto Nisfar's Twisted Fate.
Yeah, well, here we see the defensive play coming in. He's just trying to make sure he can't die to this Kragus LeBlanc combo that's going to be locking him down and bursting him for quite a lot of magic damage. So overall, I like it. If he can stay sustained up in lane, he should be able to stay pretty safe from these ganks.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, he's constantly going to be able to just regain his mana, considering that he does have the blue card, just constantly give him that mana back. So he should be fine clearing those waves and just surviving. Maybe until he gets the blue buff, he should be perfectly fine.
Well, Azrael could be going really hard here.
Yeah, it's going to be a decent amount of damage. The chains are going to land between those minions. That was a really good ethereal chains, but no stun coming out from Nisfar, and Azrael able to still lose the trade, actually. Still going in favor of Nisfar, to be honest.
Yeah, he held his ult. I wasn't actually expecting that. I thought he would have tried to go all in there, but happy enough with the damage he got down. And Stelion around the mid lane now.
Yeah, he's going to be trying to rotate towards the mid lane, but I think he might get pinged up because there is a ward that he's standing next to. So really good vision this time coming out from the side of NSG. They have three rather. I was going with triple. They have 3 control wards set up at the moment in their tri-bush and 2 towards the mid lane. Goose going to try to defend the control ward, but Dark Celion says no.
Yeah, good dodge from Celion there, able to just walk away unscathed. And
yeah, but it's going to be Burnsy. Locked up for a bit just to get scratched with a couple of feathers, but not much coming out of that engage.
Yeah, like I feel like the bot lane there shouldn't be a 2v2 kill.
Oh, but the flash play and really well placed rocket jump coming out from Relson.
Yeah, really well timed to dodge out in that hook. I maintain that rocket jump shouldn't work that way, but it does, so well played to him.
Yeah, it does. The main reason I remember that there's always that, I think it was a less than a second window that you can actually jump and avoid any sort of CC. And the only reason I remember that is because of the, I think it was the NLCS playoff finals between CLG and TSM. And it was the last fight of the last game that gave CLG the win, where it was 6A that used it, and he just jumped out at the right time.
Yeah, always a shame to see a CLG win, but what are you going to do?
It's always a shame to see TSM win.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
We just really Cloud9 wins everything.
Yeah, that'd be very nice.
Yeah. Anyway, we actually saw a cheeky invade on that blue from Stelion. Just strolled in and picked it up for free. No ward control or anything there. He just kind of got it.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It looks like there is a decent amount of vision on the blue buff that Dark Celion owns, but tricked
with the fake lantern.
The fake, just trying to see if he can play with the minds of Relson and Burnsy, forcing the rocket jump instantly out of Relson.
Yeah, that's one of my favourite plays to make on Thresh. Throw in the lantern in the river, pretend your jungler's got your back, and make them run away. And we see Goose on the blue buff now, not being contested whatsoever. No wards anywhere on the map for Sentinel at the moment.
Yeah, because a ward was placed by Nisfar. He knows that the blue buff isn't available to him anymore. So that gives Goose the window to actually try and invade. And he is going to get the blue buff back, but he's rotating towards the bottom side here. might be trying to wait for a play. And Tricked again using the same thing, putting the Lantern in the bush behind him. Maybe trying to force the rocket jump out of Relson and then allow Goose to go for the engage.
Yeah. I don't see why he wouldn't just actually throw it to Goose in that situation, though. Like, there's no point pretending you want to go aggressive if you actually do.
Yeah, he doesn't have the flash to try and go for a flash play, and still all summoners are available for Relson and Burnsy.
Yeah, I don't see what Goose is going to get out of this. I don't know why he's hanging around for so long.
Yeah, but here we go. He's going to try and go for the cocoon, but you're not going to land it. They're just...
Okay.
I think he's just trying to walk it in, but that's just not going to work. He waited too long, and the window of opportunity just went away.
Yeah, that is a problem we see with Goose sometimes. He tends to pick a bush and sit in there for just like too long. It costs him out a lot of farming time. We see Steely regaining the farm lead in this matchup.
Yeah, if he's regaining the farm lead, he may be able to get a level lead, even if that's possible. But run into Goose, you don't want to go for this fight. I don't think you do.
Oh,
but here comes Burnsy. He does have the backup, and the cask avoided by the repel coming out from Goose. Really well played, but it's going to be the global fissure, or glacial fissure rather, coming out. But it's going to be Goose blown up. And that's going to be the first kill. Nisfar doesn't have Ghost. He only has the Flash and Ignite. He could get stunned here. One more auto attack, and he's going to get stunned as well. Going to get slowed, going to get exhausted. Not enough damage coming out from Darkcelion or Burns. So it's going to be a 1-for-0 in favor of Sentinel right now.
A bit of miscommunication at the end there. Like Azrael had backed off to go far mid lane, so no need to chase.
Oh, Default, meanwhile, going to get a little bit of damage onto him. Decides to just use the Cataclysm as a disengage and then flash out of it. Mr. Krabs dealing a decent amount of damage, forcing him out of that scenario. And looks like it's going to be the Infernal Drake going over to Sentinel, so they still get something out of it. And they got lucky this time. Last game they just got Oceans and Clown Drakes, but this time it's an Infernal one.
Very true, and I think most of the credit there should go to Burnsy for that really good roam up, be able to catch out Goose. Not the best Glacial Fissure I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But regardless.
He might have been trying to predict the flash from Goose, maybe?
Maybe, yeah. I think he was trying to get that and also get Twisted Fate. Didn't work out, but that's okay. They're still able to lock Goose down with the flash chains from Azrael.
Yeah, definitely. And looks like
hello.
Oh, Darkcelion waited to actually use his body slam just yet. I don't think he has an explosive cask. He might actually do, but it's going to be the concussive blows landing that stun, and it's going to be just an easy pickup for Relson. Really well played for Darkcelion to hold that body slam until the flake came out from Tricked.
Yeah, exactly, and he bought enough time for Burnsy to be able to get that stand behind Braum and jump in to get his concussive blows going.
Yeah, and Burnsy looks like he's hungry for more kills, although he's just trying to zone Addy away, stop him from clearing those waves. And of course, with the red buff onto Burnsy of all people, that's still true damage being ticked onto that turret, so they're dealing a decent amount of damage. They might be able to secure it with the next wave, but at that point, Tricked might be actually back already.
Yeah, it looks like they're just going to be happy with the damage, back off and get it next push. Important thing to note, we see... Oh, here comes Nisfar.
Oh, here comes Nisfar. He's going towards the top lane, and he's actually going to get caught out here. The flash going to be avoiding the cocoon. A real well play from Mr. Krebsley. Nisfar trying to make a play towards the top side with Goose. But let's see who's actually going to be able to secure that first brick gold. And it actually could be, but here comes Azrael.
I think
or not, as the clone.
Yeah, I think Krebsley might TP here just to save the turret.
Yeah, he has to. You don't want to give away that first brick gold to Default or to Goose at that point, so you have to try and just go back there and defend it for as long as possible, because you know you have the pushing advantage towards the bottom side of the map, considering the aggression that came out from Darkcelion. So you want to try and save it until you secure it towards that bottom side. Then you can feel free to trade it.
Exactly, and like Jarvan and Elise are extremely strong dive duo, something you always have to be afraid of TPing back to lane. But Renekton with his ultimate up is so difficult to dive, he felt safe enough.
Yeah, but Trick might actually get caught out here. A thoroughly changed going to whiff. But Burnsy might going to try and see if he can land that Q, but not going to be able to chase him down. Burnsy not doing as well as we could have expected, but Trick just going to walk it off.
And we see again Azrael not committing that ultimate. He could have gone for another chain or another dash in to secure the chain hit. I don't know why he opted to save it. He just decided to miss the chain and back off.
I think
turret.
Oh, it's going to be Relson trying to secure the first brick gold on his own.
It's dead.
Yeah, he's going to stay for that global gold. 650 gold. Thank you very much. The kill lead that Adzi had, but oh boy, here we go. Default. Gonna have the backup of Goose towards the top side of the map. Mr. Krebsley and Darkcelion think they can take the fight. Decent amount of damage onto Default already. Beautiful explosive cask. Not in the best position to allow him to actually fight back. And it's just gonna be no summoners traded thus far.
That was not the greatest lane gank I've ever seen. Steelion accidentally steps out of the bush too early, revealing himself, and then body slams a minion.
Oh, but here comes the Zero once more. Whiffs the chains yet again.
So that was some good dodges from these far to dodge out on both the ethereal chains and the Winter's Bite.
Yeah, I believe finishing the boots early on just give him that extra mobility he needs to just walk away from those chains. So working really well for him. And the fact that he's going for the Catalyst of Aeons tells me he's going for just a later stacking sort of Twisted Fate with the Rod of Ages rather, Lich Bane, just going for a really late game.
Yeah, I think it's either Rod of Ages or he could be a bit more interesting, go for the Hextech GLP.
Could be.
Which I wouldn't like as much this game. I think he's more just trying to get the tankiness to survive through these tanks on the other side diving on him.
Yeah.
He's not really looking for these easy picks against the LeBlanc or Tristana. We'll find out soon enough. Rod of Ages makes more sense.
It is going to be a Rod of Ages, just so he can stack a little bit better later on into the game, and that way he doesn't actually need a blue buff, just because he's going to have the Lich Bane, he's going to have a decent amount of mana, and he can just constantly keep spamming his spells, again, without the need for a blue buff, so Goose can constantly keep going for it.
Yeah, that's very true. And speaking of the junglers, we unsurprisingly see Goose going for the Runic Echoes, and Steelion has transitioned over into the Cinderhulk build, which I think is a bit stronger on this patch. Yeah, especially with the amount of damage already on his team, he doesn't need more burst.
Yeah, exactly, Mr. Krebsley. And Default actually finishing the Ninja Tabby first of all. He's going to be going for yet another play, and here comes Nisfar, and here comes Goose as well. Mr. Krebsley trying to buy as much time as possible for the TP coming in from Azrael, but it's a little bit too late. He's also going to stick in there, and here comes the stun card. Going to be able to land, gets the knock up. Nope, forcing the flash. Goose going to try and go out of Spider Form, but still another kill going in favor of NSG. And this time the plays are actually working for them, and they secure themselves another kill.
Yeah, I'm glad to see Nisfar finally being...
Oh boy, Azrael dealing a massive amount of damage, but Goose retaliates with his own.
Don't know why Goose just didn't drop there. He would have killed him, but a bit afraid of...
Oh, not the tip of the cards. Doesn't strike just yet, and it's going to be Azrael walking it off. Meanwhile, Darksenior rotating towards the bottom side of the map, and they look like they're dealing just a hefty amount of damage towards that turret, and maybe secure it.
Not this wave anyway.
Not with this minion wave anyways.
Yeah, and Default moving to the bot lane. Sentinel are going to need to back up. We see the huge amount of turret pressure Tristana brings. If you leave her alone against these turrets, she's just going to melt through them. So a nice attempt at Sentinel to answer back on the other side of the map. That's a lot of damage down on that turret.
Yeah, definitely, especially with the...
still here.
Yeah, they still are, and Trick going to get caught out here. He might actually get blown up. He's going to get knocked up, and he's going to get taken down any second. There it is. An explosive casket is going to blow Adzi away. Default on the chase, on the hunt. There's no Destiny for Nisfar. So Darkseid and Ralston and Birdie might be able to just walk it off, rather, with just another free kill onto Tricked.
Yeah, nice pick there. Again, not the greatest explosive cast from Steelion. He's not having the best game, but his roams, his body slams have been on point, so he's still able to make plays. Burnsy's a bit pushed up here, but he should be fine.
Yeah, Adzi and Default. And here comes Goose. Might be thinking about going for a dive here. There's no TP on Azrael or Mr. Krebsley, so it could be a free kill. But looks like they already know what's going on. They're just going to give that turret away because they know if they stay there, we're going to die anyways. But they're trading top lane in for it as well. Yeah,
I presume that's going to be going down here. Krebsley doing a lot of damage at this stage of the game. So a nice move from NSG. Nice response from Sentinel. Not too much power changing hands. We see the goal lead still pretty close.
Yeah, pretty late trade, but Adzi overstaying his welcome, but he's actually going to get flashed upon, and the rocket jump from to Nelson. There's no reset just yet, and here comes Goose. Might be able to assist him. Minions are dealing a decent amount of damage, but it's going to be Relton securing the kill. Meanwhile, Tricked and Azrael are going to get chased down here. It's going to be a free kill yet again. Meanwhile, Goose takes one back on the bottom side of the map, and here comes Nisfar. So close yet so far. Burns gets secured yet again. That's going to be a free kill. Traded 2 for 2 all over the map.
All the bot lane is dying. There's interesting trade. Good reactions from Goose and Nisfar to get to that.
Yeah, definitely. This kind of just shows what the meta is all about. Goose are actually going to get knocked up, going to get a decent amount of damage, but here comes the Zero. Here comes the TP from Mr. Krebsley. A beautiful explosive cast this time actually knocks Goose back, but Mr. Krebsley comes straight out of the TP and straight into the face of Goose, secures him as well. Default going to trade 1 for 1, but he might actually get traded himself. He's going to flash in the wrong direction, away from Zero actually, but the chase potential from the LeBlanc might be able to actually run away with the flag and drag. Yeah, Zero missing those chains, really key here. And really good dodges by Default.
Yeah, it's a pretty poor split focus there. Krebsley diving hard on Nisfar while Azrael was dealing with the Default. If they just both of them stuck to one target, it would have been an easy kill. I think Krebsley should have just peeled back and killed the Jarvan. Would have been the easiest thing to do in that situation.
Yeah, just a little bit of split focus here coming out from the side of Sentinel. Not really focusing on the primary targets for themselves. They spread themselves too thin, not being able to secure the kills just yet. It looks like Sentinel going to be able to defend the mid lane turret for now. But they were still able to push out just a decent bit. And honestly, those kills just going left and right between both these teams. Last game, it wasn't even close at this point into the game because there was a decent lead, about a 5,000 or 6,000 in favor of Sentinel. But we're 20 minutes in, and the game is, what, 400, 500, 600 gold difference at this point, which is basically nothing. So this game is really, really close.
I agree. It's certainly a lot more competitive. NSG actually coming out to play this time. As you're saying, actually, Goose is taking these blue buffs. He's far happy enough without them.
And it looks like, Nisfar, he doesn't have his ultimate, he doesn't have a TP. He's going to get stunned maybe with the concussive blows. One more auto attack, yes he should. And Relson, actually the Glacial Pusher are going to be coming out. And Nisfar! Going to be getting the kill, and he might actually run away. Destiny not going to be coming up just yet. Meanwhile, Trick going to get chased down by Aziraal. It's going to be Ethereal Chains coming down as well. The box hits down as well. All this damage coming down. But here comes Goose. Here comes the Cocoon. And here comes the Root. Here comes the stun. And here comes the kill. Darcina should be picked up any second now. It's going to get picked up by no one. Apparently, because I think Goose was trying to let the kill go for...
Oh, Nisfar is going to get it.
Oh, hello. That kill. Nisfar. Oh boy, just giving him the rope it up towards the bottom side of the map. And I think Burnsy and Ralston were just a little bit too greedy, but it doesn't even matter. Aziraal gets engaged upon and destroyed straight out of nowhere. It looks like another turret going to get secured for NSG. And this is a completely different lineup than what we've seen in the last game.
Yeah, that all stems from the bot lane play, which is pretty badly botched. Relson dying. Oh, he's hooked again. He's going to die.
Oh boy, he's going to get knocked up. And again, NSG are hungry for more. Although Mr. Krebs is going to be picking up one kill on the back of that fight, and Goose might be able to actually get picked up here. Here comes Nisfar. He might be going to a losing fight, though. He's going to try and go for a stun. He's going to get the kill. Maybe onto Burnsy, and yes, he does. And it's going to be a triple kill coming out here for Mr. Krebs, the all-in-all. And still, they're the ones who come out on top. NSG a little bit over-aggressive and a little bit over-eager in that mid lane. And Sentinel strike back.
Yeah, completely blindsided from Krebsley coming in the backside there. Really good play from him to pick up all those kills. But as I was saying, that all stemmed from that bot lane play where somehow there's a Braum in between Tristan and Twisted Fate and the stun still hits her. Like, Burnsy really slow in that Unbreakable. You can't be doing that against Twisted Fate. Gives over the free kill. Relson still had heal. Didn't bother using it either.
Yeah, he's a little bit greedy with that heal. He had it on the bottom side of the map as well, but didn't use it whenever Twisted Fate actually picked up the kill and ran away with his life. And looks like another dragon going to be going over to Sentinel. It's going to be an Ocean Dragon. So they have an Infernal and they have an Ocean. So they have a decent amount of damage and a decent amount of region going in their favor.
Yeah, like, the Ocean Dragon, it's nice for Gragas, it's nice for LeBlanc. It's not that huge deal for them. What I'm really interested to see is what the lane assignments are going to be. We see Azrael up here against Jervin. And Jervin is going to go ham.
Default's going to be going for the engage. He has Tricked, he has Nisfar, he has the chase potential and the backup. But it looks like Azrael might be able to escape with his life. He does have the distortion and his ultimate, so he's easily going to be able to escape here.
Had to flash though. You see again, Azrael pushed up that far, but his team aren't in position to do anything.
And again, he doesn't have the vision as well, so you can't really, again, as you said, can't be that aggressive without proper vision.
Exactly. If he waits until Sentinel are sieging that mid turret, and then 3 people go to kill Azrael, it's a free turret. It's fine. But in that situation, Sentinel aren't in a position to take anything from it.
Yeah, Tricked. Trying to see if he can land a hook in that Raptor camp, but not going to be able to get something just yet. But all that pressure mounting up. They got mid lane and top lane pushing in favor of NSG. Meanwhile, Sentinel have something going in their favor in towards that bottom side of the map. But speaking of bottom side, Burns is going to get locked up here. It looks like Tricked is the one that's over aggressive, and he just gets blown up. Nisfar going to get exhausted. He's going to get chased down. He's going to get stunned, and he's going to get destroyed. And a beautiful cast coming out from Dark Xenon gives them the exact engage they need. And it's going to be the flash shot coming onto default. 1, 2, 3, and that is going to be the 4th kill going into favor of Sentinel, and it's a triple kill for Nelson. Dark Xenon might be able to survive. Yes, he will, but it doesn't even matter. He's going to get picked up, but a quadra kill going in favor for Relson, and they're going to run it down mid.
Beautiful turnaround from Sentinel. Tricked a bit too far pushed up, and I said so far that Steelan hasn't been having a great game. That was a beautiful engage with the big body slam cast combo.
Yeah, that was just the best engage Sentinel could have possibly asked for, and they're going to get 5 kills and 2 turrets to their name after that.
Possibly even 3, because this bot side's been pushing a long time for Sentinel. That turret's going very low.
Yeah, and all that gold is definitely going to benefit them, and the fact that Relson picked up 4 kills in that last fight, he got that assist on the last one. But this is just going to help him out massively because he can get the rapid fire cannon, which he just picked up. So the next team fight is going to be even easier for him because he can even be just more, or rather safer, with that extra range that he gets, considering that later on into the game we go, the more range he has with those auto attacks.
Yeah, like at this stage he's able to comfortably outrange Twisted Fate's gold card, which is the main thing that's going to be a problem for them. He should be able to dodge out on these cocoons fairly easily. And at this point, if Sentinel play it well, they shouldn't be able to lose a team fight, I think.
Yeah.
NSG setting up Vision on Baron, which is a good choice.
Yeah, because they know the fact that Sentinel might be able to go for it later on into the game. They still have the TP on Azir on Mr. Krebsley, so that split push pressure could mount up to something. Now, I actually want to touch on something. I've seen this before where Twisted Fate players would pick up the rapid fire cannon just for that extra range on the stun card. Do you think this could be a scenario where Nisfire picks it up?
Honestly, it doesn't seem too bad here with like their need to surprise.
Oh boy, Darkseid gonna get cocoon, gonna get knocked up, locked up, and maybe rooted, and he might actually get taken out by explosive cast. Gonna be a really good
Goose is in
disengage
trouble
for them here.
No,
But Goose might be in trouble. The Q gonna get dodged away because of the spiders, but he might get actually rooted up and destroyed. That could be the signal that Sentinel need. With Goose out of the fight, with the jungler of NSG take him down, this could be the window of opportunity that God, words are hard. This could be the window of opportunity that Sentinel have been waiting for.
Yeah, Nisfire was going for that split push on the bot turret, but he's turned around now to try pressure in at the Baron. I don't know what they think they're going to do.
Yeah, but Azir trying to buy as much time. Destiny going to get actually forced out of Nisfire here, and he's just going to force him to get closer to the turret. The hook going to miss. Decent amount of damage. They had vision with that Destiny, but I don't think they're going to have it for much longer. You don't really want to be there for that long, and Brenzy going to be jumping in with the Glacial Pusher. The Baron going to get secured by the side of Sentinel. Meanwhile, Nisfire going to get nuked by Mr. Krebsley, and here comes Ralston. He's just going to keep taking them down. All that damage coming up from Ralston, he's still untouched. He gets 1, he gets 2, he gets 3, and he might actually be able to get 4. Gonna be denied actually by Azir. Whereas this gonna be a triple kill for himself and the Baron, and oh boy, this game was just busted wide open by Sentinel.
Yeah, NSG seeming a bit uncertain what to do in that situation. They wanted to contest, but they weren't really sure. Personally, I might have liked them just shoving down 2 lanes, getting some turrets back, because with Goose dead, there's really no chance of them getting a Baron steal unless Steelion really messes up.
Yeah, but again, we talked about this before. It's everything on the line for them, so they had to try something. Yeah. And now with the Baron, with still a couple of seconds, they're trying to make a play onto Goose. They could get the knock-up. Not just yet. He's going to get the slow explosive cast, just going to push him away towards the turret. But the crit comes out from Ralston. He is legendary. 11-2-5 in this game. It looks like Sentinel are not stopping. They're going to get themselves an inhibitor. They could rotate towards the top side. They have a massive wave pushing in their favor. But Sentinel, we were talking literally 7 minutes ago, this game was between 400 and 500 gold difference, and now it's a 6, 7, 8k gold in favor of Sentinel. And they're definitely on their way to securing that second spot and securing themselves in that quarterfinals.
Yeah, I asked the question to start, how good has Sentinel's team play? It turns out pretty damn good.
Honestly, just those casks and those engages from Steelion, they are on point today.
Yeah, we see him 13 assists already to his name. He's having a good game after all, playing these team fights really well.
Yeah.
And Relson, we see untouched in the back line, able to jump onto Nisfire to start that fight and assassinate him. And then from there, he was able to turn on the rest of NSG and take them down 1 by 1.
Definitely. I mean, you're talking about, you know, at the beginning of the game, the fact that Goose is your boy, as you quoted. Now, how does it feel to see your disciple just get spanked by Dark Steelion so far?
Oh, well, Steelion's also my boy, so that's fine.
Ah, they're both your boys.
There's kind of like...
So who's your favorite boy? Now, we have to ask.
Well, whoever's winning this game, so Steelion.
Oh, so you're always going to go for a favorite.
I like to think that they're fighting for Senpai's attention right now, so I am noticing Steelion here.
You're noticing Steelion. Indeed, he's getting the love of his senpai right now. And it's going to be the smite. He actually lands the smites as well, so there you go. Learning from your mistakes, my friend. It looks like Sentinel on the hunt right now for another couple of turrets. They do have the super minions running it down mid in their favor. They're going to be able to actually secure the Mountain Drake, which gives them even more turret damage with a Tristana. This is just a dream come true for them right now in this game.
Yeah, if he gets the chance to chunk out this turret, it's just going to evaporate. Might be able to get some hits on next wave as they're pushing in.
Yeah, because the super minions are going to be knocking on the Nexus doors pretty soon, especially on those Nexus turrets rather.
We see again poor sidewave control from Sentinel though, as top lane pushing hard against him. Anzi's gone.
And Azir just blows up Anzi. And this is the engage that Sentinel have been waiting for. Another beautiful explosive cast. Blows Trick to the back, and he's going to be the second victim of the fight, and Relson is just on fire this game. Dexy going to be going for you. Another engage here, and look at all that damage, all those crits, not going to secure the kill. Luca's going to be jumping in, and Relson a little bit over eager here, and he gets taken down by those turrets. But is that enough? Is that enough time for NSG? I don't think so, because it's the first Nexus turret going down. The second one could be going down any time now, and it is. And here come the Baron minions, and looks like it is going to be Sentinel for the win if they manage to destroy the Nexus. Who's going to be buying us much time, but it's going to be Mr. Krebsy going to get picked up. Nisfar, they're going to get a little bit. Oh, he's going to run away, but the Sonya's going to save him. He's going to get some by the concussive blows. Burns, he buying us much time. He doesn't have exhaust. Oh, the gunplay coming up from Azrael. He's still around, but really well played by Goose, and he's actually going to get picked up by those minions. And it's a 4-for-1 for NSG. They're on the edge of a knife at this point. And right now, they're fighting for every inch of their base. And right now, honestly, I don't think there's a base left. All they have is a couple of turrets in top lane.
This is the important point. If you're going to troll at the end of the game, wait until the Nexus is sub 200 health.
Where it's one auto attack away, basically.
Exactly, because you see like Relson diving into double Nexus turrets there and just giving up his life for free. If he just sat back and killed the turrets, the game's already over.
Yeah,
just
definitely.
got a bit too excited, I think.
Yeah, I think, you know, just the idea of taking that second spot and taking it away from NSG, this could be one of the tournaments that they don't actually participate in a while, where they actually don't just keep going through the quarters and semis and afterwards. So it says something, but the Flay coming up to the clone of a Zero. So nothing special here, no hook even coming out, but it looks like Nisfar doesn't have Destiny, doesn't have TP, of course. He chose to go for the Ignite, and he's pushing down the bottom lane. Meanwhile, Sentinel are just going to try and run it towards the top lane.
Yeah, I don't think NSG can do much about this tier 2 going down, but that Goose wants to try, apparently.
Oh, Goose going to be able to try something. He still does actually have the Banshee's Veil, so he still has the shield to actually help him out. And I'm not sure, it was Azrael the only one who actually survived, but Darkseid going to get hooked. He's going to try and go for the engage, and Azrael jumping in. Trick might get blown up. He's going to get blown back by the explosive cascade. He's going to get taken down, and this is the first victim of the fight. Default on the backline trying to go for something, trying to make a play, but he's not going to be able to do anything just yet. He himself is going to get blown up, and that is going to be a double kill going for Relson. Will this be the pentakill? There is the triple, not really, denied by Azrael. Gonna get the slow. Mr. Krupsy jumping in. That is the fourth kill of the fight, as he's gonna be the last victim of NSG, the last hope. Not really. And the Nexus is already naked. There are no Nexus turrets. It is going to be Sentinel securing the second spot in their group, and NSG are out of the tournament.
Yeah, very well deserved from Sentinel. I think they were definitely the better team today. 30 or so minute victories, pretty convincing. Obviously, a good few things they could have done better, but overall, they wanted to win more. They played better team. And they're going through. Yeah, they definitely played a lot better than NSG, and honestly, this is definitely something that NSG need to learn. They need to do their homework, as you said, banning the Orianna in the first game. There's just many mistakes that they have to go over. Definitely in the VOD review for both these games. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us for tonight. Congratulations to Sentinel for securing themselves the second spot, and commiserations to NSG. Sadly, we're not going to see them later on, but thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you, Jake, for joining me as a guest caster for the day. Thank you very much, everyone. You have a good night.